The catastrophe is coming. I took my whole family to cultivate immortality. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1, The Immortal Cultivator. Qin Feng, China Point, Los Angeles Ferry Village. Qin Feng ran to a cliff of more than 10 meters next to the mountain village before dawn point, facing the rising sun. The invisible purple air glowed point. I don't know how long it took. The villagers in the village went to work one after another, passing by the cliff and seeing Qin Feng sitting cross-legged on it. They couldn't help but talk in a low voice. It's been 3 years and this kid has come to sit here every day. What's wrong with this kid from the old Qin family? He doesn't have a problem with his head, right? I don't know. It's been like this since he returned to the village to be a teacher. I heard that he was expelled from the big city school because of his nonsense, saying that the end of the world is coming. Really? No wonder. The red sun climbs. The sun became dazzling and hot. Qin Feng took a deep breath and woke up from that ethereal state point with a smile on his lips. He said to himself, the sea of bitterness has finally opened up. The system is finally activated, and it's not worth my 3 years of hard work. It's just not enough. After speaking, Qin Feng got up, patted the dust on his body, and hurried towards the home. After Qin Feng graduated, he became a teacher, teaching in schools in big cities. But when he was teaching 3 years ago, Qin Feng awakened the covering the heavens and immortals popularization system. This system requires him to popularize the cultivation methods in the human world. As long as someone embarks on the path of cultivation under his guidance, Qin Feng will be rewarded by the system. Point to put it simply, Qin Feng teaches others to cultivate immortals. The more people who cultivate immortals and the stronger their strength, the more rewards Qin Feng will get. It's just that the activation of the system requires Qin Feng to reach the realm of we'll see. In the past 3 years, Qin Feng has not stopped for a moment just to activate the system. Earlier, when he got the system once told him a shocking news, that is 10 years later, all races of alien beasts and monsters will open the space-time barrier and invade Blue Star. The hot weapons of human beings simply cannot resist the monsters and ghosts that only exist in these legends. Then the human world will become a hell on earth. Point destroy. Blood, despair. It spreads among humans like a plague. Only humans who embark on the path of immortality can fight against these monsters from other worlds. As a teacher, Qin Feng is well aware of his heavy responsibility. He informed the students of the news in advance, hoping to attract their attention. As a result, he was expelled from the school for spreading rumors, and he tossed and turned only to return to his hometown. His mind returned. Qin Feng looked in the direction of home and walked slowly forward to the edge of the cliff. No, the child of the old Qin family is looking for a short meeting. Come on, come on, come on. It's too late. This child really has a problem. The villagers who went to work in the fields panicked when they saw this scene. Point everyone thought that Qin Feng was going to jump off a cliff to commit suicide. A cliff of more than 10 meters. Jumping from it, even if it is not dead, it is almost the same. But Qin Feng didn't care at all and jumped down from the cliff. Brush. Elegant and graceful. Like a slowly falling leaf, it landed smoothly on the ground. After landing, Qin Feng walked in the direction of home again, as if he had nothing to do. Don't you know that this was seen by the villagers who were pointing and talking about him? And after seeing this scene, they were all petrified in place. The cliffs more than 10 meters high are about 5 or 6 stories high. Just jumped off? Even if he jumped, Qin Feng was not hurt after landing. There were incomprehensible surprises on everyone's faces. I'm not mistaken. He really has nothing to do. Could it be that this kid has practiced some kind of light gong? This is too powerful. How did this kid from the old Qin family do it? When he got home, Qin's mother prepared breakfast for him. After breakfast, he was going to go to class. Qin Feng's father was sitting on the threshold, smoking his cigarette. Seeing Qin Feng coming back, Qin's father picked up the pipe and slapped it on his shoes. Da da da. Qin Feng, if it really doesn't work, let's go to the hospital. My father and I are still strong. Don't worry about money. We'll treat you when you're sick. Qin's mother also handed the breakfast to Qin Feng's hands, echoing Qin's father's words. My parents are not worried that you will lose your job as a primary school teacher in the village, but it's just that this is not the way to go. Qin Feng laughed when he heard the words of Qin's father and Qin's mother for his cultivation over the years. He did not mention his parents a word point because Qin Feng knew that even if he said that his parents were facing the lowest and turning their backs to the sky, they would not believe it. Point at this moment, suddenly there was a knock on the door. It's Brother Feng at home. The three of the Qin family looked out and saw a 17 or 18-year-old girl standing at the door of their house. This girl is a cousin of Qin Feng. The name is Qin Ya. Why are you here? Yeah, come in and sit quickly. Have you eaten breakfast? What are you doing with Qin Feng? Qin's father and Qin's mother said enthusiastically. I've eaten. I came here to look for Brother Feng. Brother Feng didn't work as a teacher in a big city. I don't go to school anymore. I want Brother Feng to introduce me to a job in the city. Qin Ya cut to the chase road. Qin's father and Qin's mother looked at Qin Feng, and Qin Feng had to speak up for this matter. They couldn't make decisions for Qin Feng. Qin Feng looked at his cousin Qin Ya and showed a meaningful smile. If you are looking for a job, wouldn't it be beautiful to study immortal cultivation with me? Qin Feng's parents were stunned when they heard this. Mother Qin grabbed Qin Feng and whispered in his ear, Qin Feng, what nonsense are you talking about? Qin Ya is your cousin and everyone is relatives. If you can't arrange it, just tell her directly. Mom, what I said is true. I can bring Qin Ya to immortalize. What, do you want to go to heaven? What? God, I'm talking about cultivating immortals. You can also understand that from mortals to immortals, this is no better than going to the city to work. As soon as these words came out, the faces of the old couple became even more ugly. From mortal to fairy. It means that they understand it, but they dare not even think about it. Could it be that Qin Feng is going to move to the 2D temple at the head of the village to live in, and is going to fight for a job with the land master? Or Qin Feng saw through the red dust and prepared to become a monk and Taoist priest? Children, listen to your parents' advice. Let's go and have a look. Even if we sell un, we will cure your disease. Yes, child, you can't think about it. It's fine if you become a monk. Why are you taking your cousin with you? Qin Feng smiled dryly. It seemed that his parents still didn't believe it, and even understood that cultivating immortals was a monk. Immediately, he picked up the porcelain bowl in his hand. A sea of bitterness surged in his body, and a trace of spiritual energy jumped out to hold the porcelain bowl. The porcelain bowl immediately levitated in Qin Feng's hands. The three were dumbfounded. This, Qin Feng, you are really going to become an immortal? It's incredible. Chapter 2. My cousin taught me to cultivate immortals. Qin Feng took it back, and the spiritual power porcelain bowl fell into his hands again. The three of them got together and picked up the porcelain bowl and looked left and right. Now you should believe it, Qin Feng said with a smile. Qin's father, Qin's mother, and Qin Ya were stunned for 3 minutes, and then they slowly reacted, looking at Qin Feng up and down with an unbelievable look. Qin's father and Qin's mother couldn't believe that this was really his son. Child, so you've really become an immortal? Father Qin asked with relief, going up and pinching Qin Feng's shoulder. Qin Feng nodded and explained to his parents. I don't want to let too many outsiders know about this matter. Qin Ya on the side asked quickly, an outsider? You don't count. Cousin, can you teach me to cultivate immortals? Sure. After speaking, Qin Ya was led to his room. Then he took out a novel book from his pocket, covering the sky. Qin Feng handed the novel book to Qin Ya. This novel is not an ordinary novel, but was given to Qin Feng by the system. When the system was activated, the system told Qin Feng that he could use this book as a teaching material to popularize the cultivation method of covering the sky to the world. Qin Feng has never used it before, and he doesn't know what to do with the specific operation method. Now, let Qin Ya do a test to see if it is what the system says. When Qin Ya took the novel book, she was a little overwhelmed. It was not to teach him to cultivate immortals, but to give her a novel book. Look first, and ask me if you don't understand, Qin Feng ordered, and then ignored Qin Ya. Sitting cross-legged on his bed, he began to enter the state of cultivation. The Sea of Bitterness was just opened up in the morning, and now Qin Feng wants to stabilize his realm. Although Qinya was a little confused, she still chose to trust Qin Feng. She saw the scene just now really. Holding the book, Qinya came to the next room, sat on the sofa, and opened the book. After a while she was attracted by the wonderful plot in the novel. The whole person is caught in the novel, and cannot extricate himself. Dao. Jing. Qinya muttered to herself. She had seen the scene, when the protagonist cultivated the Tao Jing, and opened up a sea of suffering. Boom. At this moment, a gust of wind came in. The roar came from Kinya's body along with the sound of violent tidal waves. A trace of spiritual energy surrounds Qinya, and at this moment Qinya is as holy and bright as an ordinary exiled immortal. I feel the Sea of Bitterness. The vision has not dissipated. Feeling that the Sea of Bitterness is only the first step on the road of cultivating immortals. Next, the waves hit the rock like rinke, and the roar became even more violent. Click, the bitter sea trembled, and a weak gap was opened by the waves. An endless light was released from the gap. Dazzling and unstoppable. After a while, the vision gradually disappeared. Kinya's breath was restrained. The sound of the waves stopped abruptly, and everything was calm. Qin Feng in the other room suddenly opened his eyes. Ding. Qinya opens up a Sea of Bitterness. Ding. Congratulations to the host's Daojing inheritance comprehension increased by 20%. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the secret inheritance of Lindsay. The system sound disappeared, and Qin Feng's body suddenly shook. A warm force flowed into his body, impacted the Sea of Bitterness in his danshan, and then flowed to his limbs. At this time, Qin Feng seemed to be bathing in the sun, and there was an indescribable comfort in his body. A spring appeared in the Sea of Bitterness, and a steady stream of spiritual energy was exhaled outward. Life Spring Realm. Qin Feng broke through again. After the system is activated, Qin Feng can receive system rewards, as long as someone embarks on the path of immortality under his guidance. And as long as they continue to break through, Qin Feng can get rewards again. The higher the breakthrough level, the more rewards Qin Feng will get. In other words, Qin Feng can become stronger, even if he is lying flat. Qinya woke up from the trance state. Feeling the changes in the body, is naturally overjoyed. Quickly holding the book, he trotted into Qin Feng's room. Cousin, it's done. I have really become an immortal cultivator. I feel Lun Hei, and I also feel spiritual power, Qinya said ecstatically. Qin Feng nodded in relief, saying that he already knew. The first test was successful, and the next thing was much easier. It's good. You can stabilize your realm first. By the way, remember this matter, and try not to tell outsiders. Qin Feng repeated the precautions again, because he knew that, if this matter spread out, it would definitely cause some trouble. Right now he's not strong enough, and dealing with those troubles is tricky. I see. Qinya nodded obediently. I'm going to say it before. If you spread this matter out, I can take you down this road, or I can drive you out of this road. Qin Feng said condensedly. Don't worry, cousin. I won't tell anyone. Of course, except for the relatives of the Qin family. Qin Feng has to grow up, and it is impossible not to teach others to cultivate immortals at present. It seems that relatives and clansmen are more reliable. Qin is not the largest family in several nearby villages, but there are more than 1,000 people. If these people can embark on the path of immortal cultivation, then I don't know what kind of reward Qin Feng will get. Well, Qinya agreed. Then he happily left the room, and hurried towards his home. When Qinya walked to her door, she couldn't help but want to experiment with her cultivation results. So Qinya stimulated the spiritual energy in her body and patted a big tree in front of her house. Click. A thick tree broke off in response. Crashed down. Qinya looked at the fallen tree, and then looked at her palm. Shocked and delighted. From now on she will be on a different path. But this scene was watched by Kinya's younger brother Qin Wen, who came home from school. Qin Wen was completely dumbfounded, and the bicycle he was pushing was so frightened that he threw it in the place. A big tree was snapped with one palm. Is that person really my sister? Qin Wen rubbed his eyes, made sure he didn't have hallucinations, and hurried up. Sister, Qin. Ya was taken aback when he heard someone call him. Looking back, it turned out to be her brother Qin Wen. Sister, how did you do it just now? When did you become so powerful? You didn't eat anything wrong, right? You just ate the wrong thing. Your whole family eats it. Do you have anything to do? Go back to do your homework when you have nothing to do. You're a high school student and don't focus on your studies every day. Sister, I beg you, tell me how you did it. Do not know. Qin Wen was aroused by curiosity. How could he be willing to let Qinya go? She stalked Qinya and insisted on asking why Qinya suddenly became so powerful. Sister, I beg you to tell me. I will have all the bowls at home in the future. I'll give you my pocket money this month, too. If you don't want me to knock one for you, you can tell me. Qinya couldn't take it anymore, and Qin Feng said that this matter can be told to the relatives of the Qin family. He simply told Qin Wen the truth. What? Cousin Qin Feng taught you to cultivate immortals? Qin Wen's jaw dropped when he found out about this. Chapter 3 Study, learn shit. Why don't you believe me? Do you want me to experiment with you? Qinya smiled and clenched her fists, preparing to give Qin Wen a downside in a novel. I believe. Qin Wen clearly felt that Qinya's aura was different from before. The former close sister now has a detached aura on her body. He is also a serious fan of novels. He usually likes to read immortal novels the most. He always fantasizes that one day he can become an immortal cultivator. When I was in school, there were not 10 or 8 books of Zeuxin novels that were confiscated by the teacher. I went to cousin Qin Feng and asked him to teach me. You can learn. Why can't I learn? You don't study anymore. Study. I'm still learning a fart. I can cultivate immortals. What else do I learn? After speaking, Qin Wen ran towards Qin Feng's house like a gust of wind. Came to Qin's house, greeted Qin Feng's parents, and quickly asked Qin Feng's whereabouts. When he learned that Qin Feng was in the upstairs room, he quickly ran up. Meet Qin Feng. Puff. Get down on one knee directly. Cousin is on top. Pass on my immortal method, and the grace of leading the way is unforgettable. Qin Feng was reading a book at this time, and Qin Feng was caught off guard by an inexplicable slogan from Qin Wen. But after a while, he realized that Qinya must have told Qin Wen about this. There is nothing strange about the two being siblings. You really want to learn? Think, yes, but I have a rule here. The law is not passed on. Your sister told you not to. I know. Qin Wen raised his eyebrows and made an expression you understand. Then he took out all his pocket money from his pocket and put his hands in front of Qin Feng. Seeing this scene, Qin Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry and quickly explained to him. I teach you about cultivating immortals, except our family members can't tell others. Hurry up and put away your 25 cents. Qin Feng then threw covering the sky to Qin Wen. Cousin, I've read this book. Who is the peak at the end of the immortal road? When you see the beginning list how, you should quickly pass on my immortal method. Qin Wen couldn't wait. You know quite a lot. Just let you see. There's so much nonsense. Qin Feng scolded. After he finished speaking, he ignored Qin Wen and sat cross-legged on the bed. Consolidate the realm that you just improved in the afternoon. Qin Wen scratched his head, bit his head, and held the copy of Covering the Sky, ready to review it again. When I came to the next room and opened the novel, I immediately had a different feeling. Is this what the teacher talks about every day by reviewing the past and learning the new? The more I watched, the more fascinated I became, and unknowingly, I saw the protagonist build a bridge and reach the scene of the other side of the sea of suffering. In an instant. The text in the novel shines brightly, like tadpoles swimming in the book. Qin Wen fell into an ethereal state, and the novel came out of his hands, slowly hovering above Qin Wen's head and reflecting. The whole room was covered with golden light in an instant. The old couple downstairs also noticed the vision upstairs. Looking at the golden light emerging from the window, the two looked at each other. Qin Wen's child won't become a child, right? It seems that when Qinya left in the morning, I felt that her whole person was different. One day, 2 of our Qin family became immortal cultivators. The ancestral grave of our Qin family should be smoking green smoke. Whoa. Saying that, Father Qin suddenly coughed violently. Mother Qin quickly slapped Father Qin on the back and asked with concern, "What's the matter with you, old man? I've been seeing you coughing for the past 2 days." Qin's father held his waist and waved his hands weakly and said, "No, it's alright. There are many such small problems in the old people. Now that the children are all grown up, Qin Feng, who was the only one who was worried before, has his own way to go. I feel relieved. Ding. Qin Wen broke through the realm of Shinkiao. Ding. Congratulations to the host, who has achieved 100% comprehension of the Daojing, and congratulations to the host, who has obtained the secret inheritance of soldiers. Qin Feng opened his eyes, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. As the sound of the system disappeared, his cultivation had broken through to the realm of the Taoist palace. It directly crossed the realm of Shinkiao and the realm of the other side. The feeling of this continuous breakthrough is so cool. What's even better is that he has already obtained the secrets of the 9-character secret, and the remaining 7 secrets are just around the corner. There is another thing that surprised Qin Feng. Qin Wen's talent is even higher than his sister Qin Yap, and he directly broke through to the realm of Shinkiao. After a while, Qin Wen excitedly ran to Qin Feng's room. Excited with that novel book in hand. Cousin, I did it. I filled away. Qin Feng silently. Neither happy nor sad. A master attitude. Glancing at Qin Wen. Suddenly Qin Wen felt the majestic pressure on Qin Feng. That kind of pressure is completely brought about by the realm. It made he felt like standing in front of Qin Feng was like a child standing in front of an adult. Qin Wen subconsciously closed his mouth and stood beside him respectfully. Go back and remember what I told you, Qin Feng said solemnly. Keep it in your heart. Qin Wen clasped his fists and bowed to Qin Feng before exiting the room. Going downstairs, I saw Qin's father and Qin's mother. He bowed to Qin's father and Qin's mother again. It made Qin's father and Qin's mother at a loss. What's wrong with this child? Why is he so polite? Mother Qin said. What's wrong with being polite? Qin Feng walked downstairs with a smile. This child Qin Wen has been mischievous since he was a child. It's the first time I've seen him look like this. Cough, cough. Father Qin coughed violently again. After he said that, hearing Father Qin cough, Qin Feng frowned. He walked to his father Qin's side and helped him up. Dad, what's wrong with you? Are you sick? It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about me. Whoever eats whole grains can't have a minor illness or disaster. Father Qin explained. People eat whole grains. Qin Feng immediately reacted when he heard this. If his parents were cultivating immortals like him, wouldn't they be sick? Dad, you cultivate with me. Chapter 4. Parents should also be pulled. Hearing his son's words, Qin's father and Qin's mother stood there dumbfounded. After a while, Qin's father said solemnly, Son, are you telling the truth? Didn't you joke with us? I'm not kidding. It's true. Dad, Mom, you two can cultivate immortals with me. Maybe after cultivating immortals, there will be no pain. Qin Feng patted his father's shoulder and said. Qin's father and Qin's mother looked at each other. But I'm both so old. Can I still cultivate immortals? There won't be any problems, right? Qin Feng smiled. Mom and Dad, trust me, there will be no problem. Your son can still make fun of your life. Don't worry, try it. It won't hurt anyway. There was a long silence. Okay, then let's be a dead horse and a living horse, doctor. Qin Feng and his mother helped Qin's father into the room. Dad, wait a while. I'll go get ready. Okay, okay. Father smiled. It is obvious that Qin Feng's attitude is different. He has never taught Qin Yan and Qin Wen so seriously before, and it really is his own. In the bedroom, Qin Feng was communicating with the system. System, can my parents cultivate immortality at such a young age? Will it not cause secondary damage to the body? Ding. Answer, it won't cause any harm, and as long as the person is dedicated to the Tao, he can successfully cultivate immortals. There is no age limit. Can they understand covering the sky? Ding. Answer, yes. Covering the sky will input the knowledge of cultivating immortals according to personal circumstances, and will make a reasonable match with those who cultivate immortals. That's fine. I was worried that my parents wouldn't understand covering the sky and needed to explain it myself, but I didn't expect the system to cover all these tasks, which is equivalent to traveling abroad with a translator. This system is really easy to use, Qin Feng sighed to himself. When he came to his parents' room, Qin Feng handed covering the sky to his father. Dad, it's actually very simple to cultivate immortals. You just need to read this book. If you don't understand anything, just ask me. I'll be with you. Stay by your side. Father Qin looked at the covering the sky in his hand and was a little unbelievable. He thought he was going to prepare some rituals and spells, but he didn't expect that he could solve it by reading a book. It was a bit incredible, but he believed in his son. So, accompanied by Qin Feng and his wife, Qin's father flipped through the book in his hand. I don't know if I don't turn it over, but a turnover is simply intoxicating, making Father Qin feel a sense of relief in an instant. The doubts that originally existed in his heart also dissipated, and almost instantly, Father Qin had fallen into it. As everyone knows, in the eyes of Qin Feng and his wife, he is like a Buddha statue in meditation. Qin's mother called him a few times, but he didn't respond at all. Qin Feng smiled. Mom, let's not disturb Dad. He is in a critical period now. After an unknown amount of time, finally, the voice of the system sounded in Qin Feng's mind. Ding. Congrats to the host. The 9-character secret won the fight again, and the 2 secrets are now the 4th secret. The cultivation base has broken through to the realm of the gods in the lungs of the Taoist palace. Ding. Father Qin broke through to the realm of the other side. What? Father's talent is even higher than Qin Wen's. The sudden announcement made Qin Feng stunned point unexpectedly. It seems that this cultivator does not seem to have much to do with age point at this moment. Qin's father slowly opened his eyes. Qin Feng seemed to feel his father slowly spit out a breath of turbid air, and then looked at Qin Feng for a moment, as if a little electric light was emerging from Qin's father's eyes. Qin Feng knew that his father was completely different from before. Dad, congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations on successfully embarking on the path of immortality. Father Qin stretched out, as if he had just woken up from sleep, and then two punches hit the air, with the sound of breaking wind. How is it, son? Am I okay? Of course, my dad is amazing, mother. Qin was dumbfounded. She couldn't understand what the father and son were talking about, but it was definitely a good thing. It turned out that cultivating immortals would bring about such a big change. Hey, old man, how are you doing? Is it okay? Haha, I mean that I have reached the realm of the other shore, and I even jumped 3 levels. Don't doubt it, join us quickly. Now, my waist is no longer sore, my legs are no longer sore, I no longer cough, my body has never been sore. Such a good time. At this moment, Mother Qin looked at Qin Feng. Qin Feng smiled and said, Mom, don't worry about this and that. Don't you think that Dad has become too? It's a huge benefit and no harm. After hearing this, Qin's mother didn't want to say anything else, so she sat down and read covering the sky. I do not know how long it has been. Ding. Mother Qin broke through to the Divine Bridge realm. Ding. The host's 9-character secrets are all word secrets again. Now they are 5 secrets. The cultivation base has broken through to the realm of the gods' possession of the kidney in the Taoist palace realm. It seems that the mother's cultivation is lower than that of the father, so will the reward also be lower? Who cares? At least his parents have already embarked on the path of immortal cultivation, and they will no longer suffer from illness and pain. And in just one day, he has guided 4 people to cultivate immortals. If more than 1,000 people in the Qin family cultivate immortals woolen cloth, I can't imagine it. Dinner time. Qin Feng was in a particularly good mood today, and he was taking his meals with great gulps. Hey, you kid, keep this piece of meat for me. Father Qin exclaimed. Don't fight, you two, they're still in the pot. Mother Qin laughed and scolded point at this time, looking at Qin's mother. Her face is radiant, as if she has returned to her youth, while Qin's father next to him is like a young man, looking at Qin's mother who is several years younger. Thanks to Xia Feng. If it weren't for him, we might be lying in the coffin someday. Dad, look at what you said. Isn't this what a son should do? Besides, it's not that I didn't get anything. I still want to thank you. How do you say that? So, Qin Feng told his parents the secret of how to improve his cultivation and what would happen in 10 years. Chapter 5 The Most Talented. What? Will the demons and beasts of all races invade our planet at that time? Qin's father and Qin's mother were shocked, so that why Qin Feng's cultivation level improved so quickly was forgotten. Yes, there's still about 7 years. I was expelled from the school for saying this to the students. That's why I want to cultivate immortals, and I have to take the Qin family to cultivate immortals together. Only then can I resist foreign invasions and protect you. This sounds like a fantasy, so that the shock in Qin's father and Qin's heart could not be calmed down for a long time. But his own son can cultivate immortality, so what else is impossible? This world is like this, full of wonders and strangeness after a long time. Okay, son, we believe what you said, and from today onwards, your mother and I will spare no effort to support you. In 7 years, we will try our best to persuade the rest of the Qin family to cultivate immortals. Hearing this, Qin Feng couldn't help but feel a little moved, and it really had to be the support of his parents. That's great, Dad, Mom. I'll be relieved with your words. From now on, let's take home as our base and start work. The next day, as usual, Qin Feng got up and went out before dawn. This is a habit he has cultivated over the past 3 years. Qin Feng came to the edge of the cliff and started his daily homework. The villagers who got up early and greedy for the dark also saw Qin Feng and started talking about it. Qin Feng doesn't care about this, it's business to walk his own way. But he didn't know that the villagers' comments on him had changed. Dad, Mom, then I'll go out. Oh, by the way, the book I gave you to read more is very helpful for your cultivation. Understood, Feng. Your mother and I will work hard to cultivate. Father Qin raised his arm and patted his biceps with the other hand. Qin Feng smiled. Father is more and more like a young man. Although his appearance has not changed much, Qin Feng knows that his father is very good now. Of course, more than yourself. Qin Feng just went out not far when suddenly a voice sounded. Brother Feng, you are so biased. Qin Feng turned around and saw that it was his cousin Qin Yap. Ah, what's wrong with me? Qin Feng was a little puzzled. You are still pretending to be stupid. After Qin Wen went back yesterday, he kept showing in front of me that he was stronger than me and his talent was higher than mine. At first I didn't believe it, but after he explained it, I realized that I was completely different from him. It's a realm. At this time, Qin Yalahua said with rain. It turns out that Qin Wen, this kid, really owes a lot. Cousin, don't be sad. Talent is only a part, but Xiuxin values hard work. The harder you work, the stronger you will be. When Qin Wen is still showing off, you may dump him for several streets. Really? Kinya was still in disbelief. Really? Listen to my brother's advice. Don't take the time to envy others, and strive to improve yourself is the kingy way. Kinya wiped her tears. Brother Feng, do you have any magic weapon or secret to improve quickly? Ah, this thing. Wait for me to think about it. Qin Feng turned his back to Qin Yap and walked away a few steps. System, is there a secret to quickly improving your cultivation? Ding. Answer, popularize the cultivation technique. You can quickly improve. No, apart from me, is there a way to quickly improve other clansmen? Ding. The search is in progress. After the search is over. Answer, method 1. Send a cultivator to the supreme secret realm, where cultivating can achieve twice the result with half the effort. But it is very dangerous. Method 2. Let the cultivator enter the Shianyuan treasure cauldron for body training, so that its meridians expand and absorb spiritual energy faster. But the body refining process is extremely painful. Is this also difficult? It doesn't seem to suit my cousin. Hey, cousin, how is it? Have you thought about it? Well, cousin, I'll think about it carefully and give you a satisfactory answer tomorrow. In fact, there is no answer, but Qin Feng feels that these two methods are too dangerous and painful. He can't use his relatives for experiments. If he wants to experiment, he has to do it himself. Brother Feng, we agreed. We must teach me how to quickly level up tomorrow. I must let Qin Wen know who is the boss. Hey, I didn't expect this little girl Kinya to be so competitive. If I had known it earlier, I would have said that I didn't know. Qin Feng was walking on the road, distressed. After school, Qin Feng was still worried about Kinya in the morning. At this moment, a familiar voice suddenly remembered in front of him. Brother Feng. Qin Feng looked up and saw that it was Qin Wen. What are you doing here? Qin Feng asked. We've been waiting for you here for a long time. Us? Qin Feng was a little puzzled, and suddenly a hand patted his shoulder from behind. Brother Qin Feng. Qin Feng was taken aback by the sudden cry and hurriedly turned around to see that a small boy was standing in front of Qin Feng with a smile and looked at him. Qin Feng looked back at Qin Wen with some doubts. Who is he? Brother Feng, don't you remember him? He is my uncle's son, that is, my cousin, Qin Heogsu. Qin Heogsu, ah yes, I remembered that I taught you and Qin Wen to swim when I was a child. You two said that you have been waiting for me for a long time. Is there anything you are looking for? Qin Wen and Qin Heogsu looked at each other, then Qin Wen nodded, and then Qin Heogsu knelt on one knee with a thud. Brother Kamikaze, I'm devoted to the Tao. Qin Feng heard this and looked at Qin Wen with an expression you understand. He didn't expect this kid to tell a clan member about cultivating immortal so quickly. Well, he could be considered as a cultivating immortal propaganda ambassador. Get up, Heozu, since Qin Wen told you, you must have believed me. I can take you to cultivate immortals, but there are rules. That is, no, I can't spread it. I can only tell the Qin family. Qin Feng nodded. Then come with me, Mom. I'm back. Xiao Feng, it's just in time for me to come back. Your mother and I have something to discuss with you. Before Father Qin finished speaking, he saw Qin Wen and Qin Heogsu waving at him. Heozu, long time no see. Why are you here? Dad, our cultivator team is going to grow again. Then, Heozu also knows. Okay, I'll arrange a room for you. After speaking, Father Qin turned around and prepared to go upstairs. Hey Dad, you just said you have something to discuss with me. What is it? No hurry. You guide Heozu first. Father Qin said without looking back. After a while, Qin Feng and Qin Wen brought Qin Heogsu to the room. Cousin, have you seen Covering the Sky? Qin Wen asked. I must have read it. Not only Covering the Sky, but also Perfect World, God's Tomb, etc. I have read more novels than your cousin. Qin Heogsu said proudly. Qin Heogsu is only 7 months younger than Qin Wen, and he is the same generation as Qin Wen, and went to the same high school. Although he is a little smaller, he has been fond of reading since he was a child, and his grades are much better than that of Qin Wen. Okay, I'm going to teach your brother a lesson. Qin Wen patted the back of Qin Heo's head. Chapter 6, Call Your Sister Back to Cultivation. Qin Feng looked at the two brothers and was a little dumbfounded. At this moment, he suddenly remembered the system's voice. Ding. It has been detected that the individual Qin Heogsu has an ancient bloodline. Qin Feng was shocked. Qin Heogsu actually had ancient blood. Cousin? What's the matter with you? Looking at Qin Feng, who was a little silly, Qin Wen asked a little puzzled point at Qin Wen's call. Qin Feng woke up from the trance state. Oh, it's okay, Heozu. The journey of immortal cultivation. Only sincerity. Believe in yourself. You can succeed. Come on. I'm optimistic about you. Hearing this, Qin Heogsu's eyes shone with a little light. Qin Wen was puzzled. Brother Feng didn't encourage him so much when he was cultivating immortals. It was really strange. Qin Feng took out Covering the Sky, handed it to Qin Heogsu, and said, I know you've seen it, but now I'll let you review it again and understand it carefully. The method of cultivating immortals is in it. Qin Heogsu took Covering the Sky, looked at it, and then saluted Qin Feng. I will live up to my trust. Qin Feng and Qin Wen exited the room, allowing Qin Heogsu to have a quiet environment. You brat, how did you tell Heozu? Qin Feng turned his head and asked. Oh, this. I asked him out that day to tell him that I didn't study anymore. He asked me why, and I said that I was beyond the ranks of mortals. I gave him a show. What about taking things from the air, floating up, and when he saw it, his jaw dropped. Then, you told me what I taught you about cultivating immortals, I'm still praising you in front of him, saying that compared to you, I'm just a pediatrician, and I also said that you can teleport, fight cattle across mountains, and catch turtles in 9 days, sweeping the moon and 5 oceans. How's it going? That's right. You. Kid, you are very good at flattering. Qin Feng patted Qin Wen's head and said. Qin Heogsu had been in the room for some time, but there was no movement. Qin Feng and Qin Wen chatted with each other. Suddenly, a dazzling red light gushed out from the crack of the door, accompanied by a long howl from Qin Haoxu. It seemed that the whole house shook slightly. Qin Feng knew that this was Qin Hao's success in learning, and it was an awakening that was more powerful than Qin Wen and Qin Ya. The sound of the system was broadcast in a timely manner. Ding. Qin Haoxu broke through to the God Treasure Realm in the heart of the Taoist Palace, and awakened the bloodline of Bifang, a strange beast of the mountains and seas. Breakthrough to the Four-Pole Secret Realm. Breakthrough. Again, all the 9 character secrets are within easy reach, and I also obtained a weapon, which is really good. Qin Feng thought to himself. Qin Wen looked at the door of the room, and then at Qin Feng. This is done. Well, Haoxu is much better than you. Qin Feng glanced at Qin Wen. What? Better than me? Qin Wen couldn't believe it. At this moment, the door opened, and Qin Haoxu walked out slowly. I have become an immortal, and no one is invincible. You snapped. Qin Feng and Qin Wen slapped Qin Haoxu on the back. What are you pretending to be in front of us? Oh, it hurts. 2 big brothers, didn't I just succeed in cultivating immortals? I can't even make me squirm. Don't be so shy. Tell me, what's your realm? Qin Wen asked eagerly. Well, Dao Palace realm. It's still a good job, and the most important thing is that I actually have Bifang's bloodline. Is it serious, cousin? What kind of analogy? Qin Wen was a little stupid, not to mention his higher realm than him, but also with the awakening of blood, the pride in front of Qin Haoxu was instantly gone. It's Bifang. Graduated B. According to the Shanhaijing, it is shaped like a crane, with red stripes on its blue feathers, and has the ability to breathe flames. Didn't he expect that among so many people who led the cultivation of immortals? Hao had the highest talent for learning, and he was in the realm of Taoism just after cultivating. Some people have to work hard. Then, Qin Feng looked at Qin Wen intentionally or unintentionally. It's not that Qin Feng hit Qin Wen, he didn't hurt so much, but he hoped that Qin Wen could be neither arrogant nor impetuous, and move forward. Qin Wen was also anxious at the moment. Hey, I'm also in the realm of Shinkuo. Are there any of you who mock people like this? Ha 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 ha, he's in a hurry. The two laughed when they saw Qin Wen's appearance. But as everyone knows, Qin Wen has already clenched his fists and vowed secretly, wait, I will surpass you one day. In the evening, Qin Feng left Qin Wen and Qin Haoxu to eat at home. After the meal, everyone was chatting, when Qin Feng suddenly thought of what his parents said in the afternoon. Hey, Mom and Dad, you said you have something to discuss with me. What is it? When Father Qin heard this, he glanced at Qin Feng, and then at Qin Wen and Qin Haoxu who were sitting next to him. They were brothers. Qin Feng immediately understood when he saw his father's expression that Qin Wen and Haoxu are not outsiders. Since they have both embarked on the journey of cultivating immortals, everyone should not hide everything. Father. Qin nodded. It's like this. You see, me and your mother have embarked on an extraordinary path under your guidance, but the end is coming in 7 years, and your sister Qinzu doesn't know it yet. After discussing it, I plan to call your sister back to cultivate with you, so as to prepare for the future. Qin Feng's sister, Qinzu, is 4 years older than him. She works in a large company in Los Angeles. The treatment there is very good. She might have never thought about persuading her to come back and cultivate immortality with her family, but, Dad, it's not like you don't know the situation of the old lady. She is willing to listen to us. She is afraid that she will think we are talking nonsense. Why don't you listen to this? You see that we didn't believe you at first, but after seeing your magical powers, didn't we follow you to cultivate immortals? As long as we know it, and move it with emotion, presumably your sister will give up, come back from work and join us. Qin Feng thought about it, and yes, his own sister, no matter what, must let her have the power to protect herself in the future crisis-ridden world. Well, then, Dad, it's not too late. Let's make a phone call to the old lady now. After all, Qin's father took out his mobile phone and dialed his daughter's number. Beep beep. Hello, Xiaoxu. Hey, Dad, I'm here. I just took a shower, and I'm going to sleep. Is there anything you can do to find me? Yes, I have something to ask you. Well, come back. But I haven't been on vacation yet, Dad. Are you and your mother having a physical problem? No, it's just, oh, Dad, let me tell you. Qin Feng grabbed the phone and said, hey, old lady, quit your job and go home. Let's cultivate immortals together as a family. Feng, you have no problem with your mind. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm not talking nonsense, really. Come back, you. Give Dad the phone. I'll talk to him. Hey, Dad, I think my brother may be sick. You take him to the hospital. Your brother didn't lie. Come back. Your mother and I have both cultivated immortals. It's true. Silence. Deathly silence. Point after a long time. Dad, stay home with your mom and brother. I'll ask the company for a leave tomorrow and come back to take you to see a doctor. After all, Qin hung up the phone before Father Qin could speak again. It's okay. At least the old lady is willing to come back. Dad, don't worry too much. After the old lady comes back, she will naturally believe us. The next day. Point in a well-known large company in Los Angeles. Mr. Guo, my parents are sick. I want to take 3 days off, go back and have a good look at them, and hope for approval. In the office, a slender and capable woman with a ponytail and a suit was standing in the center of the room, quietly waiting for the boss to speak. Qin, you must know that you are the backbone of our company, and you have performed well recently. I was going to give you a promotion and a raise in the past few days. If you ask for leave, it will slow down your work. The progress will not affect your future well, said Mr. Guo, who was sitting behind his desk. I know, but yesterday my dad called me and asked me to go back and have a look. The parents' orders cannot be violated, and I hope Mr. Guo will understand. Well, I approve. I hope you don't regret it. Thank you, Mr. Guo. Qin closed the door carefully and was about to leave when suddenly a hand patted her shoulder. Hey, Qin turned around and saw that it was Yuzai. Chapter 7 Plans and Surprises. Yuzai is the son of President Yu, the shareholder of this big company. He has a romantic personality, has a tall stature and a decent appearance. He is a proper rich second generation. Young Master Yu, do you have anything to do with me? Although Qin didn't like him very much, he was a child of a rich family after all, so he still had to have at least some respect. It's been so long, you're still so out of touch. Forget it, let's not talk about this. I just saw you entering Uncle Guo's office, right? How about it? Is it a promotion and a raise? Yuzaiman smiling face. Oh, nothing. I'm asking the boss for leave and going home. Go home? Why do you go back to your poor village? After Qin heard this, she couldn't help feeling angry. That's why she doesn't like Yuzai. She always looks down on the poor and the poor. None of your business. After that, Qin left in a hurry. Yuzai looked at her retreating back, and there was a wicked smile on the corner of his mouth. I just like lie. I don't believe you can escape my Yuzai's palm. After returning home, Qin packed up, closed the door, and dragged the suitcase, and walked out. She still doesn't believe what she heard yesterday. Xiuxin. First of all, let's not say that my younger brother was startled when he read novels when he was young, but even his parents who were honest and dutiful said, this is kind of incredible. Qin had just come downstairs and was about to stop a taxi when a silver white sports car came swiftly along with the loud engine sound and then stopped steadily in front of Qin. I just have nothing to do these days, so I'll go back to the countryside with you to see your parents. The person who came was Yuzai. In order to pursue Qin, he had already figured out the address of her home. Qin was not surprised by this. It was too easy for a child of a wealthy family to find out the address of a commoner. No, my home is in Dukao village in Luo City. It's not too far from here. I'll just go back by bus. After speaking, Qin turned around and left with her luggage. Yuzai jumped out of the car, caught up and said, don't, for the sake of my loyalty to you, let me see what's wrong with your parents. Qin did not reply. I also prepared gifts for your parents. Let me go. Qin still didn't reply, but Yuzai kept chatting beside her. Finally, Qin couldn't take it anymore. Okay, shut up. Are you annoying? Yuzai, I am annoying. If you don't bother me, you can go with me, but there are a few requirements. 1. You have to take the bus back with me. 2. No, you must give gifts to my family and show off your stinky money. 3. Keep a distance of more than 1 meter from me. Can you do it? When Yuzai heard it, he didn't even think about it. Yes. Don't worry, Zyaksu, I won't embarrass you. Finally arrived at Dukao village, Kinzu let out a long breath. After getting off the bus, she was not happy along the way. As soon as Yuzai got in the car, he complained to her that the seat was too hard and the air was not good. In addition, Kinzu was eager to go home and find out what happened to her parents and brother. Makes her upset. I finally got off the bus. I didn't say that the experience of the bus is really bad. Hey, Zyaksu, I will give you a car in the future. It will be much more comfortable and convenient for you to travel in the future. How about it? If you shut up. Start now. Don't talk nonsense. Yuzai wanted to say something, but when he heard Kinzu's scolding, he immediately shut up. But the colder Kinzu was to him, the more fighting spirit he became. After walking for a while, Kinzu returned home. She cried anxiously, "Mom and Dad, Zyafeng, I'm back." At this time, footsteps came from upstairs. "Zyaksu, you are back." Kinzu saw that it was her parents. "Where's Zyafeng? Where is he? Are you all alright? What are you doing?" "Thanks to Zyafeng, we are alright now. He is upstairs with your cousin Qin Wen, repairing." Before Qin's father could finish speaking, he suddenly choked up because he saw Yuzai, who was looking left and right behind Kinzu with a look of disgust. Could it be your man?" "No. Dad, don't talk nonsense, Qin." Zu hurriedly interrupted Qin's father's words. Qin's father looked at Yuzai, pulled Qin's mother back, and after a few whispers, Qin's father and Qin's mother turned around again. "This little brother must be Zyaksu's friend. He came from a long way and worked hard. I asked my wife to make a pot of tea first to wash the dust for you. I'll go upstairs to cool my son down, and wait a moment." Yuzai fanned the stench that didn't exist in the air at all and walked to Kinzu's side. "Zyaksu, you have a younger brother. Why didn't you mention it to me? Do I need to mention it to you? Who do you think you are? Also, don't wander around here with a look of disgust. The countryside is like this. If you're not used to it, go back alone." After Yuzai heard this, he remained silent. On the 3rd floor, in Qin Feng's bedroom, he was sitting cross-legged, with a radiant glow all over his body, and a looming air current danced around him. He just broke through to the quadruple realm yesterday, and he still needs to stabilize. As for Qin Wen, since he felt the pressure from Qin Haoxu yesterday, he found Qin Feng early, and once again asked him to wish him a helping hand, so that his cultivation could improve quickly. Qin Feng had no choice but to let Qin Wen practice with himself, but he just threw Covering the Sky to Qin Wen again, saying that he should read it again, and read it thoroughly, and engrave every word in it in the mind point. So Qin Wen stayed in Qin Feng's room, holding the book, and nibbling on it. At this time, a knock on the door awakened the two people who were cultivating, and a familiar voice came to mind outside the door. "Zyafeng. It's me, your sister is back." "What? Cousin is back?" Qin Wen also came back to his senses. Qin Feng sorted out his clothes and opened the door. Then, "What are you waiting for, Dad? Let's go down now and let the old lady see the strength of our immortal cultivators so that she can understand whether what we said is true or false." "Wait, there's another question. What's the problem?" Qin Feng asked in confusion. "A man came back with your sister. He looked a bit like your sister's boyfriend, and the clothes must be the children of a big family." "Good guy." The old lady found a brother-in-law for herself. Still a rich man. "Then, let's hurry down and see what cousin's boyfriend looks like." Qin Wen coaxed aside. "You stupid. I can't tell outsiders about immortality now. My sister doesn't know the situation. If she asks about yesterday's incident, wouldn't we be exposed then?" "What?" Qin Feng thought for a while. "Dad, Qin Wen, let's do this first." Downstairs, living room. Mother Kinzu and Yuzai sat there awkwardly, and no one spoke. Finally, Kinzu broke the deadlock. "Why did Dad go up for so long and haven't come down yet?" There won't be anything wrong, right? It's okay. Nothing. What can they do? Motherkin said with a smile. No, I'll go up and have a look. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. The plan is successful. Just as Kinzu got up and was about to go upstairs, footsteps came from the stairs. Yo, old lady, long time no see. Cousin, you are beautiful again. At this moment, Father Qin brought Qin Feng and Qin Wen to the living room. Dad, why did you stay up there for so long? Oh, it's Xia Feng and Qin Wen, who said they prepared a surprise for you in the room, and they'll let you go up and take a look. Surprise. Kinzu was a little puzzled. Qin Feng ignored her, walked straight to Yuzai, stretched out his hand and said, hello, my name is Qin Feng, Kinzu's younger brother, a village teacher. You. Zai looked at Qin Feng's hand with a hint of contempt on his face, and said directly, Yuzai, Luo City Zuomoi Company has heard of it. My dad is one of the shareholders of the company. Oh, it turned out to be a rich second generation. Qin Feng withdrew his hand and smiled. Young master, you has come from a long way and the reception was poor. Please forgive me. Yuzai walked over to Qin Feng casually and said in a low voice, it's okay, I will be your brother-in-law in the future. No matter what, my brother still has to take care of him. Qin Feng also whispered, then don't regret it. After that, Qin Feng ignored Yuzai and turned around to give Kinzu a big bear hug. Sister, you want to kill me, Qin? Zhu felt uncomfortable being held and was about to say something when Qin Feng whispered in her ear, follow me upstairs. Everything will be understood, Mom. And Dad, I'll take my old sister to see the gift I prepared for her. You can cook quickly, but you can't treat the eldest son badly. Yes, Uncle, Aunt, I'm eating at your house today. Remember to cook more dishes. After that, Qin Feng and Qin Wen smiled and dragged Kinzu, who was confused, upstairs. Little brother, do it yourself. Our husband and wife will cook now. In the kitchen, Mother Qin closed the door and quickly asked, what are you doing? Shh, be quiet, come here, I'll tell you. Qin Zhu came to Qin Feng's room under the push and pull of Qin Feng and Qin Wen. Qin Wen, close the door. Qin Feng instructed, what are you doing mysteriously? I didn't say it before, because I was afraid that Yuzai thought the whole family was insane. Now, the two of you are actually recruiting me. Hearing is false, but seeing is believing. That old lady, you should be optimistic. After saying that, Qin Feng took a deep breath, and then his mind moved, and his body suddenly floated up. Before it was over, Qin Feng closed his eyes, opened his hands, and whispered, get up. Then, under Kinzu's astonished gaze, the surrounding objects all floated up. After Qin Feng broke through to the four-pole realm, to do this was as simple as eating and drinking water, and his true skills had not yet been revealed. Xia Feng. You really? Qin Feng hurriedly fell to the ground, and covered Kinzu's mouth. Shh, sister, this matter must not be publicized. This time you should believe it. Kinzu looked at Qin Wen, who was smiling. Qin Wen is not surprised at all, is he too? That's right, cousin. Not only me, but also your parents, my sister Qin Yap, and my cousin Qin Haoxu were all instructed by Brother Feng, and are already immortal cultivators. Kinzu was still a little unbelievable, and murmured, this is true, this is actually true. But the fact is right in front of him, his younger brother Qin Feng has really cultivated immortality. How about it, sister? Just quit your job and come back to cultivate immortality with me and stop rushing around for the world from 9 to 5. Let me think about it. This is so unreal. It's like a dream. Okay, you can think about it, but it won't take too long. I'm afraid that the eldest, the young master of the family, will become suspicious after 10 minutes. How is it, old lady? Have you decided? Qin Zhu raised her head and looked at Qin Feng and Qin Wen. After a long time, she finally gritted her teeth and said, okay, I believe you, Xia Feng. I will quit my job. You teach me to cultivate immortals. A relieved smile appeared on Qin Feng's mouth. However, what should Yuzai do? He has been pursuing me and the company. Then let me ask you, do you like him? I don't like it at all. I'm arrogant, self-willed, and defiant. I can describe it in one word: scum. Kinzu shook his head like a rattle. That's easy, sister. We just need to. It's not very good. What if you are scared to death? Kinzu said worriedly. No, he is a big man, at most scared to pee his pants. Yes, don't worry about cousin. It's not too late. If you don't become an immortal cultivator, that Yuzai will come up. Okay. Then how can I cultivate immortality? Qin Feng threw a book to Kinzu, covering the sky. What is this? Kinzu was a little puzzled. Book, I know you don't like these things, but the method of cultivating immortals is one of them. Seeing Kinzu still a little puzzled, Qin Wen also said, really, cousin, all the mysteries are in it. Seeing the determined expressions of the two of them, Kinzu finally made up her mind, and sat down to look around. Ding. Kinzu has broken through to the Divine Bridge realm, and the host reward is issued. The cultivation base is raised to the middle stage of the four-pole secret realm. Point done. Kinzu suddenly opened her eyes, and a gust of wind emanated from her after that. Kinzu also floated up. Look at Feng. I can fly too. Kinzu said excitedly. Qin Feng nodded and said, then we will act according to the plan. Dinner time. Everyone sat around the table, but no one spoke. This made Yuzai a little uncomfortable. Originally, he thought that these country people would babble and talk non-stop, and then he would just show off how good he was eating at home. The food was completely different. But now, everyone is eating in silence, expressionless. There was a dead silence, only the sound of bowls and chopsticks being heard. Finally, Yuzai couldn't take it anymore. He slowly moved to Kinzu's side and whispered, Xiaoxu, what's the matter with you? Why don't you speak? Hearing this, Kinzu slowly put down the bowl and chopsticks, turned to look at Yuzai, and said in a cold voice, Yuzai, do you like me? Hi, I like it. Yuzai seemed a little stunned and said tremblingly, what about now? After speaking, Kinzu slowly floated up from the seat. Her hair was scattered, and her face was pale. Qin Feng and others also slowly floated up, all of them looking dead. Yuzai had never seen this battle, and he was so frightened that he was utterly frightened. Ghost, help. Just as he was about to snatch the door out, he found that the door had been locked for some time. Yuzai slammed the door hard, and tears came out. Our family all died unfortunately, and the resentment has not disappeared, but we were helpless and greedy for the world, so we made a few more stops. Now our wish has been fulfilled, and we are about to leave. What do you want? I have money, and I will definitely bring delicious food and drink, to worship you during the festivals. Please let me go, I don't want to die. Woo woo. It's not necessary, but you remember that what you have seen and heard today must not be mentioned to others. Otherwise, we will never let you go. Ming, I understand. Auntie, I haven't seen anyone today. I don't know anything. I'll explain it to the company. You can let me go now. Kinzu nodded, raised her palm, pulled the door open with a bang, and Yuzai ran out without looking back. Chapter 9. Kinya, whose whereabouts are unknown. When it was confirmed that Yuzai was gone, a burst of laughter broke out in Qin Feng's house. Ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter. Look at his bear-like appearance. Qin Wen covered his stomach and bent over and laughed loudly. You almost didn't hold back. What if we reveal our stuff? Qin Feng rolled his eyes at him. But it's really funny, isn't it, cousin? Qin Wen touched Kinzu, who was in a daze, with his elbow. Kinzu murmured, hey, I didn't expect that I actually did it. Oh, old lady, don't think about those things anymore. You have gotten rid of those worldly trivial matters. From now on, just concentrate on cultivating immortals. But why am I cultivating immortals? For immortality? Kinzu was still a little confused. The rest of the people were stunned when they heard this. They didn't expect Kinzu to think so deeply. Like Qin Wen and Qin Yap, they seemed to only have the simple idea of cultivating immortals for the sake of immortality. Qin Feng looked at his parents, and Qin's father also looked at Qin Feng. Feng, tell your sister, everyone will know sooner or later anyway. Qin Wen was also a little puzzled. Is there something he doesn't know yet? Is it the way to quickly cultivate immortals? Okay, sister, Qin Wen, listen carefully, we cultivate immortals not for anything else, but to save the world. Because, in 7 years, it will be the end of the world. Hearing this, Qin Zu and Qin Wen both widened their eyes, and couldn't believe their ears. What did you say? They both said in unison. After 7 years, the doomsday will come, and all races of monsters and beasts will invade our homeland on a large scale. In order to protect ourselves, and prevent the destruction of human civilization, we must cultivate immortals. Qin Wen and Qin Zu were shocked. Is this true? Where did you know the news? Don't worry about where I got the news. Just believe me, I will never joke. Qin Feng said with a serious look. Yes, Xiaoxu, my mother and I were also shocked when we heard the news. But things like cultivating immortals have become a reality, so what else is impossible? Qin Zu thought for a moment and said, can you tell others about this important event? Qin Feng shook his head. The doomsday thing must not be said now. One is for fear of causing panic, and the other is for fear that not many people will believe it. And the matter of cultivating immortals, I emphasized again, everyone can only tell the Qin family, not to be rumored. Everyone nodded and said seriously, don't worry, we completely trust you. Silent night. Qin Zu was lying on the bed, unable to sleep. What happened today was too bizarre and fantasy, and she needed time to digest it slowly. When Qin Wen got home, he closed the door and didn't hear a sound. Gradually, the sky became white with fish belly, the earth woke up, and a trace of morning light broke the tranquility of the night. Qin Feng, as usual, came to the edge of the cliff, walked cross-legged, and was absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Suddenly, a system prompt sounded in his mind. Ding. Qin Wen has broken through to the realm of the god's treasure in the heart of the Taoist palace, and the host's reward is issued. 9 characters. The last secret of the secret line is obtained, and the 9 character secret has been collected. So far the cultivation base has broken through to the first level of the dragon transformation realm point, because of Qin Wen's hard work. He was awarded an additional reward, and obtained the inheritance of the Wine Sword Immortal. Qin Feng was taken aback by the sudden voice, and it took him a long time to react. Qin Wen, this kid can do it. It's not in vain for me to teach him in vain. Qin Feng laughed loudly, firstly for the rapid breakthrough of his cultivation, and secondly for Qin Wen's growth. It seems that Qin Wen began to exert his strength under the pressure of Qin Haoxu, cousin. Qin Feng was walking happily on the road when a familiar voice sounded behind him. He didn't even have to look back to know that it was Qin Wen. When Qin Wen quickly ran to Qin Feng, he was about to speak, but Qin Feng spoke first. Have you broken through to the realm of the Taoist palace? Right. Have you obtained the inheritance of Jiu Jiangsun? Cousin, how do you know? Qin Wen was surprised. Qin Feng didn't say anything, and put his arms around him like a master. Qin Wen seemed to understand something, and immediately said respectfully, as expected of my cousin, thank you for your pointer. No need to thank you. Remember, there is a long way to go. Don't be proud of a little progress. The journey to immortality is full of hardships and hardships. Qin Feng said meaningfully. Keep in mind. Suddenly, Qin Feng thought of something and asked, oh, by the way, where's your sister? I don't know. I didn't see her in the morning. Qin Feng remembered the method he told Qin Ya 2 days ago to quickly improve her cultivation point. After thinking about it, he still felt that he could not tell Qin Ya point. After asking the system carefully, he realized that there is another way to quickly improve her cultivation point, not the method of the method. That is to learn from each other point. This method may be a bit slow, but it definitely pays off in practice point, and Qin Feng decided to let all the clansmen who have cultivated immortals come to the game, and their opponent is himself, because for so long, even he has not competed with anyone seriously. Then, let's go to your sister. I have something to look for her. Therefore, Qin Feng and Qin Wen started to ask Qin Ya's whereabouts everywhere in the streets, but many people asked them, but they said they didn't see Qin Ya. Strange. Qin Ya is a little girl. Where can she go? Yeah. Where can you run to? Could it be? What? Do you know where your sister is going? I remember that every time my sister was unhappy or something happened, she would run to the top of the mountain behind the village. She rarely mentioned this to others, and I learned about it by accident. Qin Feng thought about it and couldn't help but start to worry about Qin Yap. Okay, let's go to the back mountain to have a look. The back mountain of Dukao village is said to be high or not, but it is a bit steep. Ordinary people naturally have to work hard to climb up, but for Qin Feng and Qin Wen, this is not a problem at all. They are immortal cultivators. When he came to the vicinity of Haoshan, Qin Wen saw Qin Ya standing on the edge of the cliff at a glance. What is this for? Could it be that Qin Ya wants to commit suicide? You know, even if Qin Ya is an immortal cultivator, if she refuses to show it off and falls from such a high mountain, Qin Ya will definitely have an accident. Qin Feng and Qin Wen looked at each other and immediately hurried to the top of the mountain, as if they were flying lightly. With a cup of tea, Qin Feng and Qin Wen have reached the top of the mountain. But after all, it was a step slower. As soon as they reached the top of the mountain, they saw Qin Ya slowly fall down. Sister, Qin Ya, called out in unison. Chapter 10 Learning from each other. 1. When it was too late, Qin Feng immediately reacted, rushed over like a bolt of lightning, and then jumped down. Seeing that Qin Ya was about to be caught, Qin Ya glanced back, and then pushed Qin Feng violently, which undoubtedly made Qin Ya's whereabouts faster. Seeing this, Qin Feng crossed his fingers, chanted a formula, and then shouted, "Come here." I saw that Qin Ya was pulled into Qin Feng's arms abruptly. No matter how hard she struggled, Qin Feng didn't let go. Then, Qin Feng hugged Qin Ya and fell to the ground leisurely. Sister, are you okay? At this moment, Qin Wen has also fallen from the top of the mountain and hurriedly asked. Qin Ya didn't speak because she saw the anger in Qin Feng's eyes. Afterwards, Qin Feng pointed at her and scolded loudly. Qin Ya, I taught you to cultivate immortals for nothing. You just want to die, eh? Do you have any unsatisfactory things to solve with death? It seems that I misread you. Qin Wen stopped talking at this time, and he didn't understand why his sister wanted to die. Both of them looked at Qin Ya, who was kneeling on the ground. I saw Qin Ya's eyes getting redder and redder, and then she burst into tears. I'm so useless. Books are not good, and now I'm at the bottom of the immortal cultivation. Woo woo woo. Qin Feng and Qin Wen looked at each other. Just for this? This made them a little bit dumbfounded. Qin Ya, think about it. How many people can't do it if they want to cultivate immortality, and you are already an expert. Although you are a little worse than your peers, you have surpassed most people. Qin Feng at this moment, he patted Qin Ya's shoulder and comforted him. Yes, sister, if you have any difficulties, just tell us, and we can solve it together. Hearing this, Qin Ya slowly stopped crying, but still sobbed a little. Then, can you help me improve quickly? Yes, of course, and from today onwards, I will guide you personally. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Qin Feng patted his chest and vowed. Hearing this, Qin Ya finally stopped crying. Then you must not tell my parents about me jumping off a cliff and committing suicide. I'm afraid they will scold me. Qin Feng and Qin Wen looked at each other and said, of course, what happened today should be taken as if it never when they happened. Parted, Qin Feng told the siblings to gather at the basketball court at the entrance of the village at 10 o'clock tonight to discuss something. The siblings agreed and went home. Tonight is a big banquet. After Qin Feng returned home, he also told his sister and parents the news of going to the basketball court for a meeting at 10 o'clock tonight. Although they asked why, Qin Feng just said, you will understand when you go. At night, the willow tips on the moon, the stars are a little bit, and the breeze is blowing. So uncomfortable point in the countryside. Most people have already slept by this point. But at the basketball court at the entrance of Dukao village, several people were standing there, chatting with each other. Cough cough. Qin Feng walked up to everyone and motioned for everyone to be quiet. Are you all here? Dad, Mom, old sister. Hey Ozu. Qin Feng glanced at it and found that everyone nodded when they arrived. Everyone, listen to me. I asked everyone to come tonight for nothing else, to improve their cultivation and quickly understand their own strength. Although everyone has cultivated immortals, I believe that everyone has not really used their power to fight. For the doomsday in 7 years, it is absolutely impossible to have no actual combat experience, so tonight everyone will learn from each other and compete. Qin Feng said about the apocalypse, and you can tell the clansmen who have cultivated immortals, they are more likely to believe in themselves. So everyone is not too surprised to hear the words of Doomsday Point, but everyone still didn't understand the discussion. And finally Father Qin spoke, Feng, we can learn from each other. Then who should we learn from? Will this hurt our own people? Qin Feng smiled. Don't worry, the object of your competition is me. In this way, you will be able to exert all your strength and no one will be injured. Silence. After the silence, everyone exploded in an instant. Feng, do you really want us to fight you? It's over. Cousin is so powerful, how could he possibly beat him? Qin Wen shouted, well, with my strength and the blessing of my bloodline, I should be able to fight Brother Feng twice. Qin Heoxu muttered to himself, okay, everyone, this is a surefire way to improve your strength without hurting anyone, so don't worry about this or that. Well, then, Feng, let's do it like this. Okay, who will come first? Everyone looked at each other, and finally Qinzu stepped forward and said, I'll come first. Qin Feng smiled, okay, then let's prepare, and the others will trouble you to stand farther away. Afterwards, the two took a dozen steps away from each other. You ready, old lady? Qin Feng stood with his hands behind his back. Of course, you have to be careful, brother. As soon as the words fell, Qinzu rushed in front of Qin Feng in the next second and struck an unstoppable punch. Seeing that Qinzu's fist was about to hit Qin Feng's face, Qin Feng still stood still. The next second, Qin Feng suddenly shouted, the wind is coming. A violent gust of wind burst out from Qin Feng's body, blowing Qinzu's fist away abruptly. Everyone outside the venue squinted to resist the flying sand. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng is already so powerful, his actions are unfathomable. Qinzu in the field didn't give up, and turned her palm into a knife, trying to pierce the wind barrier. At this moment, Qin Feng suddenly stretched out a hand, and grabbed Qinzu, and then lifted Qinzu up, stretched out his hand to push. Qinzu was pushed out more than 10 meters away, and was about to hit the basketball behind him. Suddenly, Qinzu stopped in midair. It turned out that Qin Feng used his spiritual power to control her. Looking at Qin Feng again, he still stood where he was, and didn't move half a minute. I lost. Qinzu said in a low voice. Okay, next, who's coming? It was silent and no one dared to come out. This is too strong. After only a few moves, Qinzu was defeated. It was so terrifying. I'm afraid that they may not be able to win Qin Feng together. Qin Feng also knew that he was a few levels higher than else. In this competition, there was no doubt that adults beat children, and it was normal to be afraid. Is there anyone who dares to come? I'll pick someone. Qin Feng shouted to the sidelines. I come. When everyone saw it, it was Qin Yap. She walked forward firmly and said, Cousin Qin Yap, ask my cousin to give some advice. Sister, you, Qin Wen looked at Xiu's weakest sister, and was a little worried. Growing up together, he knew his sister's character too well to be strong and competitive. Although she only did something stupid today, her determination has not changed. That is become her existence under one person, and above 10,000 people. Qin Feng looked at the girl with resolute eyes in front of him, and couldn't help but admire Qin Yap. This little girl, even if she is almost talented, she is still a malleable talent. Chapter 11 Learning from each other. 2. Qin Yap, I only used 2 layers of skill to fight you, but you still have to. Before Qin Feng finished speaking, Qin Yap spoke up. No, cousin, please fight with all your strength. Qin Feng was stunned. Oh, this child. Okay, let's start then. As soon as the words were finished, Qin Feng took the lead in launching the attack before Qin Yap could act. In the blink of an eye, Qin Feng appeared behind Qin Yap and shot Qin Yap more than 10 meters away with just one palm. In fact, Qin Feng only used 3 layers of skill. Otherwise, with his cultivation in the realm of dragon transformation, this palm would probably make Qin Yap, who only has the realm of bitter sea, shattered. Qin Yap wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, and then quickly got up. Qin Yap, don't force yourself. If you really can't do it, I'm fine, cousin. On the contrary, that's exactly what I want. After finishing speaking, Qin Yap shouted and threw out a punch, hitting Qin Feng directly in the face. The fist contained the sound of breaking the wind, carrying all the unwillingness of Qin Yang in the past few days, and slammed Qin Feng's face with a bang. "Aren't you hiding?" Qin Yang asked in disbelief with her eyes open. Qin Feng turned his face and said with a smile, "What are you hiding? It doesn't hurt or itches. Also, do you girls like to slap in the face? Cousin, you be asterisk 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 D." Qin Yang was completely angry. What is this? The punch that she accumulated strength hit Qin Feng's face without pain or itching. Qin Feng didn't speak anymore, stretched out his hand to grab Qin Yang's arm, and then twisted it hard. Everyone saw Qin Yang spin several times in midair with his arm, and then with a snap, Qin Yang fell to the ground. "Ah, you admitting defeat?" Qin Feng asked. He also felt sorry for Qin Yang and didn't want to hurt her too much. "Hey, it's not over yet. I will never admit defeat." After that, Qin Yang swept her legs and kicked Qin Feng like a whirlwind. Qin Feng was not in a hurry, and when Qin Yang was about to hit him, he jumped slightly and easily dodged. Qin Yang did not give up, gritted her teeth, and continued to attack Qin Feng violently. Qin Wen looked dumbfounded outside the court. He had never seen his sister so violent. Is this still his gentle and lovely sister? After a while, Qin Yang was so tired that she was out of breath. Sweat dripped down her beautiful cheeks on the ground, but Qin Feng, on the other hand, was still standing in front of her with a relaxed expression and her breath was still steady. "Okay, Qin Yang, you've behaved well enough," Qin Feng said worriedly. "It's not enough. I still have the strength." After saying that, Qin Yang walked slowly to Qin Feng and punched him softly in the chest. Qin Feng didn't dodge either and let her beat him indiscriminately. He understood that Qin Yang was exhausted at the moment, but she did not allow her to fall. At this moment, the voice of the system sounded in Qin Feng's mind. Ding. Qin Yang broke through to the realm of life spring. Because of her tenacious willpower, she was granted the flying thunder flash and breaking cloud palm moves, and the host rewarded the 7 swords of destruction god. Qin Feng was stunned for a while, then looked at Qin Yang. "Watch, cousin, I did it." "Well, you did it." Qin Feng smiled. The next second, Qin Feng slapped Qin Yang on the back of the neck, causing her to fall asleep. "Have a good rest. You did a good job." Afterwards, Qin Feng asked Qin Wen to help Qin Yang down. Looking at the time, it was almost midnight. "Let's hurry up. Who's next?" "Let me try." He saw Qin Haoxu walking confidently into the arena. In his opinion, even the weakest sister Qin Yang could fight Qin Feng so much, so he might last longer with his strength. But what he didn't know was that Qin Feng deliberately reserved his strength to let Qin Yang. "Are you ready?" "Ready." As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Feng gathered his energy into a sword, hung behind him, and followed Qin Feng. "Go." The sword key stabbed Qin Haoxu with an invincible force. Seeing this, Qin Haoxu immediately awakened Bi Fang's blood in his body. With a long whistle, a phantom of a flaming bird appeared behind Qin Haoxu, and then Qin Haoxu spit out scorching flames, which barely blocked Qin Feng's sword spirit point. Qin Haoxu understood that in front of Qin Feng, he must not take it lightly, and he had to deal with it with all his strength. After half an hour, Qin Haoxu flew out and fell to the ground with a bang. Seeing Qin Feng walking towards him, Qin Haoxu immediately shouted, "Brother Feng, I lost." Qin Feng nodded, motioned Qin Hao to continue his studies, and said, "Go ahead, next one." At this time, Qin's father stepped forward and said, "Xiao Feng asked me to play 2 tricks with you." "Okay, Dad, watch out." This night, the basketball court in Dukao village was full of fierce fighting. After Qin's father and Qin's mother both competed with Qin's father, they started to form a free team to fight against Qin Feng. Of course, Qin Feng never lost. It made other cultivators feel more and more unfathomable. Qin Feng. After a night, Qin Feng didn't go home. They fought until 5 in the morning, so Qin Feng simply went straight to the edge of the cliff and started to practice. It was more than 7 o'clock after the practice. Qin Feng was walking on the road and heard the villagers' discussions. "Hey, have you seen the cracks and pits on the basketball court at the entrance of the village?" "I saw it. I saw it. It's so weird. It was fine yesterday. I passed by this morning. How could it be like that?" Yes, my house is near the entrance of the village, and I seem to hear a crackling sound at night. It's Strange, there won't be anything unclean in the village, right? Listening to the comments of the villagers next to him, Qin Feng couldn't help laughing bitterly. It seemed that they went too far last night. Chapter 12 Qin Shicheng and his wife who came to study. Qin Feng came to the door of the house and thought to himself, yesterday was so hard, my parents and old sister should be sleeping now, I have to keep my voice down. Then, Qin Feng cautiously opened the door and walked in tiptoe point, but before closing the door, he heard his parents' voices. Zia Feng, are you back? The food is ready on the table, you can eat it yourself. Qin Feng turned his head and found that his parents and sister were sitting cross-legged on the floor in the living room, with their eyes closed. After careful observation, it turned out that they were both cultivating. Parents? What are you doing? Only then did Father Qin open his eyes and said, we have only discovered our shortcomings, since we compared with you last night. Don't let us realize that our cultivation base and realm are far from enough. Even in your hands I won't be able to hold on to it for long. So what will happen in the doomsday after 7 years? So, everyone will work hard to cultivate from today. Then you don't need to practice in the living room. How would you explain if you were caught by other villagers? Qin Feng said with a wry smile. It's not a matter of time. Every second counts. It's okay. It's okay. You need to pay attention to the method when you don't practice at the same time. You will have a good night's sleep. After you get up, I will give each of you a copy of Covering the Sky, and you will understand this book while cultivating. There will be a qualitative leap. Qin's father, Qin's mother, and Qin Zu glanced at each other. Well, I will listen to you. Qin Feng returned to the room and asked the system to copy several copies of Covering the Sky. Then he also lay on the bed, ready to rest for a while. There have been many good things and surprises in the past few days. Although there have been episodes such as Kinya's suicide, it is generally a good thing. The most important thing is that through yesterday's contest, everyone is like a clockwork machine. All with high spirits, and Qin Feng has completely stabilized the realm of transforming dragons after the battle with the heroes last night, and is always ready to attack the next stage. It will get better in the future. Thinking about it, Qin Feng slowly closed his eyes and fell asleep. In a daze, Qin Feng seemed to hear the system's voice. Ding. Qinya has broken through to the realm of Shinkiu. Qin Wen has broken through to the realm of the liver of the Dao Palace. Qin Haoxu has broken through to the realm of the god's possession of the lungs of the Taoist Palace. And the host has broken through to the 4th floor of the Dragon Transformation Secret Realm. Comprehend the West Emperor Sutra. Hearing this, Qin Feng suddenly opened his eyes and jumped up. What? The three of them broke through again. So hard, but he improved in sleep. Sleeping becomes a god king. Just when Qin Feng was still immersed in the joy of breaking through easily, Qin's father's voice came from downstairs. Zia Feng, get up, my aunt and his family are here. Aunt? Is it my cousin and my cousin? Qinya and Qin Wen's mother and Qin's father are brothers and sisters. Qin Feng thought for a while, put on his shoes, and walked downstairs. Cousin, my sister and I broke through. Seeing Qin Feng go downstairs, Qin Wen exclaimed excitedly. Qin Feng nodded, with an expression I knew, but ignored the happy Qin Wen and Qin Ya siblings, and looked at the somewhat embarrassed aunt and uncle. Auntie, why are you two so restrained? If you have anything to do, just talk about it. You are a family, and don't talk about the two families. Qin Feng said. Aunt Fang Shumui and Uncle Qin Shicheng looked at each other. Husband, tell me, it's up to you. The two pushed and said, oh, parents, don't shirk. If you're really embarrassed, I'll speak. Qin Wen said carelessly. Cousin, it's like this. It turned out that, after going back this morning, their siblings and Qin Haoxu felt that they had benefited a lot from the fight last night and needed to understand and digest it. So the three of them came to Kinya's house to practice, hoping to make a breakthrough. Sure enough, after earnestly practicing for half an hour, the three of them broke through one after another, and each rose up, and the room was instantly filled with various colors of light. And this scene happened to be bumped by Qin Shicheng and his wife, who passed by the door of the room. The two of them almost fainted and couldn't believe their eyes. What the hell was going on? Their sons, daughters, and their cousins all flew up, exuding a solemn and inviolable aura all over their bodies. Is this immortal? Qin Shicheng and his wife did not expect that they were not mistaken. Qin Yao and the three of them have already cultivated immortals, and are already different from ordinary people. After a while, when the breath on the body gradually calmed down, Qin Yao and the three opened their eyes and slowly exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. At that time, Qin Yao and the three also saw Qin Shicheng and his wife standing at the door dumbfounded. The three of them looked at each other and knew that the matter of cultivating immortals could not be covered by paper and could not be concealed, so they simply said it. You three have become immortals. Seeing the surprise on his parents' faces, Qin Wen couldn't help but feel a little proud. That's not it, the three of us. We are no longer what we used to be. Then, you can fly through the clouds, like you did on TV, and you can turn a stone into gold? Qin Shicheng's eyes lit up. Qin Yao said, that's not true, but it's easy to perform a light exercise, float up, and retrieve objects from the air. Moreover, after cultivating immortals, you can obviously feel that your strength has become much stronger. Can that make you younger? Qin Yao's mother Fang Shumui asked hurriedly. As for cultivating immortals, men naturally desire to gain powerful power from it, while women first want to have a permanent appearance. Qin Yao thought about it and said, it should be possible. I saw that my uncle and aunt have become more handsome and beautiful, and their spirits are much better than before. What? Even Qin Feng's parents have become immortals. No wonder. After all, he is his own son, so it is natural to know that cultivating immortals. Qin Shicheng and his wife stopped talking. They all swallowed. Xiuxin, who wouldn't want to? Who can resist this temptation? After a long time, Qin Shicheng said, well, son, yeah, do you think we can let Qin Feng teach us to cultivate immortals? Yes, our old couple also want to become immortal cultivators. Fang Shumui agreed. Qin Wen and Qin Yao looked at each other and smiled. Mom and Dad, let's go find cousin together. He will definitely teach you to cultivate immortals, because brother Feng said that they are all one family, and don't talk about two families. Chapter 13. The whole clan cultivates immortals. Inside Qin Feng's house. Aunt, let me teach you immortal cultivation, but I have one request. Qin Shicheng and his wife looked at each other, then said in unison, I promise you. Not to mention one request. There are now 100,000 requests, and both of them will agree to it. Their desire for immortality has surpassed the constraints of rules. Qin Feng curled his lips. Before he even said his request, his aunt and uncle hurriedly agreed. My request is that we never mention the matter of our immortal cultivation to outsiders. We can only tell the Qin family. Can you do it? That's just the requirement, isn't it, that the fire is not spread out? We promise. Qin Shicheng and his wife nodded like chickens pecking at rice. Okay, don't ask any more questions. Take this book and read it on your side. You will find the answer in it. Qin Feng finished and threw covering the sky to Qin Shicheng and his wife. Qin Shicheng took the book and glanced at Qin Feng suspiciously, but since Qin Feng had something to say first, he didn't ask much, so he took Fang Shu to the side bed upstairs. When she came to the side bed and closed the door, Fang Shumui pulled at the corner of Qin Shicheng's clothes and asked, husband, what's going on? Didn't Ye say Qin Feng would teach us to cultivate immortals? Well, let us read books. Qin Shicheng was impatient by the series of questions and said, Xiao Feng didn't say anything. Don't ask more, just read books. Can he still lie to us? Fang Shumui didn't say anything. She sat down beside the bed with Qin Shicheng and started to read. Slowly, the two of them threw themselves into the book, forgetting the time. The expressions on their faces changed with the ups and downs of the book, sometimes surprised and sometimes frowning. After an unknown amount of time, a yellow light burst out from Qin Shicheng's chest, followed by a green light burst from Fang Shumui's body. The two of them understood and quickly closed their eyes, carefully feeling the power bursting from the depths of their bodies. Ding! Qin Shicheng has broken through to the realm of the other shore. Fang Shumui has broken through to the realm of the other shore, and the host's cultivation base has broken through to the 6th floor of the secret realm of dragon transformation. The simple breakthrough made Qin Feng feel like a spring breeze at this time, so uncomfortable. Although the breakthrough is getting slower and slower, it is very good to be able to continue to improve. The rest of the people looked at Qin Feng, whose momentum was soaring. Feng, brother Feng, have you broken through again? Qin Wen stammered. Well, it broke through. Qin Feng said lightly. Then, what is your cultivation base now? Qin Ya became interested. Qin Feng glanced at her and said, secret. After Qin Ya heard this, she made a face at Qin Feng. Dang. Dang dang. Footsteps came from the stairs. Dad, Mom, have you succeeded? Looking at Qin Shicheng and his wife who came downstairs, Qin Ya said happily, thanks to Zia Feng. Now, our old couple are immortal cultivators just like you. Qin Shicheng said with a smile on his face. As for Fang Shumei, she pulled Qin's mother Wu Zhu and said, look, sister-in-law, I am getting younger too. Mother Qin looked at Fang Shu left and right and smiled. Yes, Sister Shu, you are more beautiful and moving than before, and your realm seems to be a lot higher than mine. Sister-in-law is happy for you. At this moment, Qin Shicheng and his wife recovered from their joy. They turned their heads and saw Qin Feng standing there, who was full of majesty. They immediately stood up and bowed respectfully to him. Qin Feng quickly stepped forward to help them up and said, Aunt, what are you doing? The grace of knowing and meeting is unforgettable. How can we thank you? What are you thankful or not thankful for? As I said, the family does not speak two languages, and remember my request. Of course, we will naturally keep in mind what you said. Qin Shicheng and his wife bowed their heads. After a few more chats, Qin Ya and the others went home. Before returning home, Qin Feng also explained that he could talk to the Qin family about cultivating immortals. Whether they believed it or not, let them come and see him. The end is imminent, and 7 years is actually very short. In order to have enough strength to withstand future disasters, it is time to strengthen the team. And not only the improvement of individual strength, but also the overall strength point after the meal. Qin Feng asked Qin's father Qin Hanbo to vacate a room and let the system copy dozens of copies of Covering the Sky and put it in it for the clansmen who would study in the future to cultivate immortals in this way. 4 months have passed, and the time has come to early autumn point. In the past 4 months, Qin Feng's house has become like a market, with people coming and going in an endless stream point, because there are 3 publicity ambassadors, Qin Ya, Qin Wen and Qin Haoxu this time, and with the contact of Qin's father and Qin's mother and Qin Shicheng and his wife, many members of the Qin family have decided to come to Qin Feng's house to see the truth. I didn't know it, but when I saw it, everyone was shocked by the power displayed by Qin Feng and others. As a result, 10 and 100 all came to Qin Feng's house to study and cultivate immortals. Qin Feng also refused to come and made a family don't speak 2 words as a mantra. And the phone of the Qin family was also blown up. Son, don't go to college. Come back and learn from your cousin Qin Feng to cultivate immortals. Dad, don't go out to work anymore. Mom and I have both learned to cultivate immortals from brother Qin Feng, and so on. Since then, 3/4 of the Qin family have been cultivating immortals, and the rest are on their way home. Point in the past 4 months, as more and more clansmen came to cultivate immortals, Qin Feng's cultivation level also rose slowly, and it was already the first step of the Xiante realm and the peak state of half-step great power, if it weren't for Qin Feng deliberately suppressing, wanting to play steadily and accumulate. Background: he has already broken through to the 2nd level of power, and the first few people who cultivated immortals with Qin Feng have also skyrocketed. Among them, Qin Ya and her sister Qin Zhu worked the hardest. The 2 of them have already broken through to the realm of the gods and spleen of the Taoist palace, and they are currently the same as Qin Wen. Qin Ya's parents almost broke through to the god treasure realm in the heart of the Taoist palace. And Qin Feng's parents have their own guidance, and the cultivation base is already in the early stage of the 4-pole secret realm. And Qin Haoxu, the most talented, has actually broken through to the peak of the 4-pole secret realm, and there is only a thin line between the Lehua Long secret realm. With the improvement of these people's cultivation, Qin Feng also got a lot of benefits. He got a sword of killing immortals, learned the swordsmanship of slaughtering demons, and comprehended the Void Sutra. Now even Qin Feng himself doesn't know how many immortal moves he has. He only knows that he is strong, but not enough. Chapter 14: The Shocked Qin Family. The sky in early autumn is azure blue, clear and translucent, without clouds floating, less bright and dazzling, more leisurely and tranquil. Qin Feng and Qin Ya were sitting on the top of the mountain behind Dukao village, lazily basking in the sun. He has already entrusted the matter of immortality to his parents, and Qin Feng absolutely trusts them. Brother, Feng, you are so powerful. There should be no one better than you. I really envy you. Carefree. Qinya looked at Qin Feng and pouted. Qin Feng looked at Qinya, stretched out a hand, and touched her small head and said, "What's the matter? Aren't you also improving rapidly? You have already caught up with your brother and my sister. Really, you one of the hardest working people I've ever met." Qinya shook her head and said, "What's the use of working hard? It's not that you can't catch up with the most talented brother Heozu." Qin Feng smiled and said, "Geniuses also need to be supported by sweat. You have to believe in yourself. Besides, there are people outside the sky, and there must be people who are more powerful than us." "Really? You are more powerful than us, Brother Feng?" Thinking of this, Qinya couldn't help shivering. Qin Feng had already made her feel like she was just a drop in the ocean. Isn't it even more powerful? Qin Feng turned his head to look at the sky and wondered if it should be made public about the doomsday point, except for the few people who started cultivating with him. The rest of the clansmen who came to cultivating with him didn't know about the doomsday. Everyone only cultivated immortals for the simple desire of gaining strength or becoming younger. This kind of cultivation was extremely inefficient point. If things go on like this, the doomsday will come after 7 years. How can everyone be able to protect themselves? Not to mention saving the world point. Well, it's time to tell them. Qin Feng made up his mind point afterwards. Qinya also agreed to this decision after being informed by Qin Feng. "Let's go then. Let's discuss this with my parents." "Qinya, call your brother and your parents." "Oh, and Heozu." "Well, I see, Brother Feng." Qinya nodded point. So, at Qin Feng's call, Qinya, Qin Wen, Qin Heozu, and Qin Shichen came to Qin Feng's house point. After everyone was seated, Qin Feng looked at them and said, "It's not for other reasons, but I decided to make the end of the world public. What do you think?" The rest looked at each other, but Father Qin spoke first. "Won't that cause panic?" Yes. Our Qin family's cultivation of immortals has just started, so won't this cause problems for everyone in immortal cultivation?" Qin Shichen, who was beside him, also agreed. Qin Feng shook his head and said, "It is precisely because everyone has embarked on the journey of cultivating immortals that I will tell everyone about the doomsday." "Why?" Everyone was puzzled. Qin Feng said, "Because everyone is just cultivating immortals for the sake of immortality, and there is no clear goal. If this continues, how will our Qin family survive the catastrophe and the doomsday after 7 years? Not to mention saving mankind and continuing civilization." When everyone heard this, they couldn't help but ponder. Qin Feng didn't speak either, leaving enough space and time for them to think about it. Point after a long time. Qin's father Qin Hongbo said, "I think Xiao Feng is right. Everyone's cultivation has no purpose. It is purely for the purpose of becoming young and strong. What's the point of such cultivation? We immortals should take the world as our responsibility. The body is cultivating immortals, but the heart is still a common man." After hearing this, everyone nodded and applauded. "Okay, Brother Hongbo said it well." Qin Shichen and his wife applauded. "Hongbo, I didn't expect you to be so broad-minded, so big, and think so far." Qin's mother, Wu Zhu, looked at Qin's father and said with a smile, "That's right, don't look at who your husband is." At this time, Qin Wen, who was beside him, seemed to think of something and said, "Cousin, where are we going to gather the Qin family to talk about this?" "Your house." Qin Wen looked around. "It's not big enough, right?" "Indeed, there are more than 1,000 people in the Qin family who want to find a place without letting outsiders know their secrets, which is also a difficulty." Just as Qin Wen pondered, Qin Shichen spoke up. "I remember that there is not a singing stage in the center of Dukao village. The square is quite big, and it is more than enough to accommodate our Qin family. But it's in the open air. There must be people in the past." Fang Shumui said, "That's easy. I remember Uncle Qin Hongfu who came back from outside. Isn't he a big boss? Just let him spend some money on the market." Qin Zhu, who was sitting on the side without a word, said at this time, "Yeah, why did I forgot my fourth brother? I'll call him right now." After speaking, Qin Hongbo took out his mobile phone and started calling his brother. "Hey, is it Hongfu? Oh, it's like this. Father Qin has a total of 4 siblings. The eldest is Qin Hongbo and the fourth is Qin Hongfu. He is the owner of a media company out of town. He has made a lot of money in the past few years, but at this time he quit and came back to cultivate immortality. The second child, Qin Ziao, and the third child, Qin Feng, had long been married to other places and lived happily ever after. Feng, your uncle agreed. He will bear all the expenses. Qin's father excitedly said to Qin Feng. Qin Feng nodded and said, that's fine. Let's inform each other of the other Qin family members that there will be a meeting in the central square of the village at 12 o'clock tomorrow. The next day, more than 11 o'clock in the afternoon, the Qin family rushed to the center of the village one after another, and there were many discussions along the way. The square in the center of Dukao village was built a few years ago with government funding, and a platform was also built in the center of the square in order to provide more entertainment for the villagers and to hold large-scale activities, no matter how big or small. It is enough for this Qin family meeting. At 11:50, the Qin family was almost there, standing in the square, chatting with their close people. Slowly, the time came to 12 o'clock. Just when everyone wondered where Qin Feng was, who called them here, someone in the crowd immediately shouted, Qin Feng is here. I saw that on the avenue leading to the square. Qin Feng was the leader. Qin Yao and Qin Wen were behind, and they slowly walked towards the crowd. Everyone suddenly felt inexplicable pressure. The deterrence from Qin Feng made them all secretly startled. What kind of realm is this group of people in front of them, as if facing the majestic mountains and the vast sea? It gives people a feeling of insignificance. It's no wonder that Qin Feng is already at the peak of Sendai's half-step power, and even the weakest Qin Shicheng and his wife have reached the realm of the Taoist palace. When they approached, the crowd was like a split ocean wave, giving Qin Feng and them away to the central platform of the square. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, The Founding of a School. After Qin Feng and the others walked slowly to the stage, the crowd gradually quieted down. The audience was silent, all looking at Qin Feng, who was standing on the stage, showing the demeanor of a king, and didn't dare to let out the air. Although they were curious about what was important to say, they still quietly waited for Qin Feng to speak first. Finally, Qin Feng spoke. That, everyone, don't be nervous, just relax. Qin Feng said with a smile. Seeing Qin Feng suddenly become so amiable, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, but their respect for Qin Feng suddenly rose a lot. Qin Feng looked at everyone and said, I called everyone here today. I really have something to tell you, and this matter is related to the future of our Qin family and even the entire human race. I hope everyone will listen to me carefully. Qin Feng paused, and then said the shocking secret word by word. After 7 years, it will be the end of the world. After Qin Feng finished speaking, the people in the audience were still silent, and after a while, a commotion broke out. Everyone was shocked by what Qin Feng said. Only Qin Yao and the others who were standing with Qin Feng on the stage looked at each other with a wry smile. At that time, they were also frightened by Qin Feng's words, and thought Qin Feng was joking. But Qin Feng can even do things like cultivating immortals, so why is it strange to know that the world will end in 7 years? The people in the audience were talking to each other. The end of the world? True or false? What Qin Feng said should be true. You can see that we can all cultivate immortals, so what is impossible for the end of the world, isn't it? I just started cultivating immortals, and I'm about to die. Seeing everyone looking downcast and disheartened, Qin Feng frowned. This was the last thing he wanted to see. Everyone's psychological defenses were overwhelmed, indicating that the road to immortality was coming to an end. No, we have to let everyone regain their confidence. Everyone, be quiet and listen to me. Qin Feng implied spiritual power when he said this, and his coercion instantly made everyone present stop talking and all looked at Qin Feng. Guys, it's useless to be discouraged. People can have no money, no power or power, but they can't have no confidence. If you don't even believe in yourself, then you are really useless. What's more, you are all immortal cultivators, people who cultivate immortals, not only cultivating the body, but also cultivating the mind. As long as the will is strong, it is indestructible. Qin Feng's words were like a shot in the heart, which made everyone feel energized and stunned. Qin Zu also stood up and said, Xiao Feng is right, death is an easy thing, but living is 1,000 times harder. Even so, will you give up the life in front of you and choose death? Won't. Yes, I don't want to die yet. I still have a lot of youth that I haven't squandered. I want to live. I can't die for more wonderful people and things. Seeing that everyone regained their confidence and shouted to live together, Qin Feng nodded with satisfaction. Then Qin Feng calmed everyone down again and said, 7 years later, the end will come, and there will be thousands of monsters and beasts invading. Only by constantly strengthening yourself can we survive in the future. Remember, there are more powerful beings than us. Must have. Yes, Qin Feng, we will keep it in our hearts. Qin Feng saw everyone look like this, and smiled. Alright, everyone, come on, let's send the meeting. On the way back, people approached Qin Feng and chatted with him from time to time. Some begged him to give pointers on cultivating immortals, and some talked to him about what the doomsday would be like. Qin Feng all smiled and communicated with them. Gradually, more and more people gathered around, pushing Qin Yao and the others aside. And Qin Feng didn't care about it. Qin Hongfu squinted at Qin Feng, who was surrounded by the crowd, and murmured, yes, my nephew has the demeanor of being a leader. Then, he seemed to have thought of something, patted his head, and shouted, yes, it should be done. Qin Hongfu happily ran to his eldest brother Qin Hongbo and said, brother, I have something to tell you. Qin Hongbo turned his head and wondered, what's the matter, Xiaofu? It's like this, brother, you see that the world will end in 7 years. In order to survive the catastrophe in the future, I think we should gather the strength of the entire family, house, that we should start a sect. Qin Hongbo is speechless. Where is this going? His younger brother has watched too many TV series. Seeing that Qin Hongbo didn't speak, Qin Hongfu hurriedly said, brother, don't you understand? Not to mention how many gangs have been established since ancient times. Even the country has established many. In order to condense the power of the same robes and form a group like this, it is also easy to manage, and I have a deep understanding of this as a boss outside. At this time, Qin Yao and the others also heard Qin Hongbo's words, and they all turned their heads to look at him. Afterwards, Qin Shicheng said, Hongfu, what you said is indeed reasonable, but when a sect is established, it is always necessary to choose a leader who has the ability to be elected. Yes, uncle, no matter who we are, there will be people who will not be convinced. Qin Wen also said. Qin Hongfu smiled and said, who said that there is no one in our Qin family who can convince? Don't we have one right in front of us? Nuo. Qin Hongfu pointed with his chin to Qin Feng, who was chatting and laughing surrounded by the crowd. Chapter 16 Feng Kingman. No, absolutely not. Although my family's Xiao Feng is in his 20s, he is still a young man with strong blood. There are many backups in the family who are older than him. It is absolutely impossible for Xiao Feng to be the leader of the Qin family. Qin Hongbo shook his head like a rattle and was the first to reject Qin Hongfu's proposal. Oh, big brother, can't you see it? Everyone is convinced of Xiao Feng. If you don't believe me, take a look. Qin Hongbo turned to look at Qin Feng, who was walking in front and surrounded by everyone. Indeed, no matter men, women, or children, everyone showed deep respect in their eyes, and they liked Qin Feng in their hearts, because even if Qin Feng has such profound strength, he never puts on airs in front of everyone. The one who should be called uncle is called uncle, and the one who should be called grandpa is called grandpa. He is very approachable. A person like this is not only powerful, but also has a charismatic personality. If he is not a leader, who will be the leader? Yes, brother Feng is so good and excellent, and I agree with my uncle. Qin Wen said happily. Xiao Feng is indeed suitable for this seat. Qin Zu, who was taciturn, also said softly, we agree too. Qin Yao and Qin Haoxu both raised their hands and said. Looking at the people around him, Qin Hongbo smiled bitterly and said, you guys are making me too embarrassed. Then he turned to look at Wu Zhu beside him. Damn, what do you think? I also agree with Hongfu's words. Husband, think about it. The end of the world is coming. Only by uniting together can we survive the disaster. It's about the future of the Qin family. Don't be afraid anymore. We should be bold and do whatever we want. Qin Hangbo has nothing to say, even his wife agrees with it, and it seems to be the truth, so he can only nod silently. Well, I'll go back and ask Feng, but if he doesn't want to be or doesn't agree, I won't force him. It all depends on his personal wishes. Okay, it's settled like this. I'll talk to the other clansmen first. If it does, I'll come back to Big Brother to discuss follow-up matters. After finishing speaking, Qin Hangfu walked away excitedly, and while walking, he said, "What should our Qin family be called? Aunt and aunt. I'll go with you too." Qin Ya quickly caught up with Qin's father and Qin's mother, who turned and left. "Hey, and us." Qin Wen and Qin Shicheng also followed. At night, the moon and stars are sparse, and thousands of houses are lit. From time to time 1 or 2 barks came, which made it even more quiet. Qin Feng's house. Everyone was sitting on the sofa, talking about something. Even Qin Zhu, who had been practicing hard in the bedroom, came to the living room and listened to everyone's conversation quietly. "Feng, that's what you meant by uncle. What do you think?" Yu Weiguo said, after taking a sip of tea. Qin Feng froze in place. A little silly. Be a family leader? He had never had this kind of thought before. Even after he became immortal. He just hoped to lead the Qin family to cultivate immortals and spend the apocalypse together. But what Qin Feng couldn't imagine was that everyone trusted and relied on him more and more, and he had already made him a leader in their hearts. "You all agree with me as leader?" Qin Feng looked at Qin Ya and Qin Wen and the others. Both Qin Ya and Qin Wen nodded sharply. "So is my aunt and uncle?" Qin Shicheng and his wife also nodded. Qin Feng pondered for a while. "You can't represent the whole family. I think it's still." Before the words were finished, Qin's father interrupted Qin Feng. "Oh, you don't have to worry about this. Just now, uncle called and said that all the Qin family agreed that you should be the leader of the Qin family." While Qin Feng was still hesitating, the voice of the system came from his mind. "It is detected that all the Qin family members have stepped into the ranks of immortals, and the sect generation plan is automatically activated. The generation plan is in progress. Feng Kingman was established, and the sect master Qin Feng's reward was issued. The cultivation base has broken through to the realm of great power in Sendai, and comprehends the Tehuang Sutra." Qin Feng was stunned. What's going on? Let's not say that the cultivation base that he has been deliberately suppressing has been forcibly broken through, and he has also been forcibly labeled as a sect master. This system makes Qin Feng speechless. Little wind, little wind. Qin's mother, Wu Zhu, pushed Qin Feng, who was stunned. "If you don't want to be, then forget it. We can make it clear to the big guy, so don't worry about it." Mother Qin said worriedly. "No, I will. Since everyone recommends me, then I will do my part. What else can I do about this? The system has caught the ducks on the shelves, so let's go." Qin Feng also thought about it. He wants to be the suzerain, and he wants to be a good leader, and he wants to lead the whole family to glory. "Really? Brother Feng, are you willing to be the leader of the Qin family?" "Great." Qin Ya cheered. Okay, as expected of my son." With everyone's demeanor, I'll call Xiaofu and ask him to inform the whole clan that you are willing to be the leader of the Qin family. Father Qin stood up and took out his mobile phone and said happily, "No, not the leader." Qin Feng shook his head. "Not the leader?" Everyone was puzzled. Could it be that Qin Feng is going to change his mind again? "It's the suzerain, I decided. From now on, the sect of the Qin family is called Feng Kingman, and I was elected as the suzerain of Feng Kingman at everyone's request. My parents, my aunt and uncle, as well as uncle and several other prestigious and knowledgeable Qin family elders. And you." Qin Feng pointed to Qin Ya and Qin Wen. Qin Ya, Qin Wen, Qin Haoxu, old sister Qin Zhu, and Qin Yu, Qin Xiao, Qin Yachin, who are not here, but are more talented. The sect master has appointed you as the 7 guardians of Feng Kingman." Qin Ya and the others were stunned for a while, then raised their arms and shouted, "Oh yeah, I'm a Dharma protector." We are all whined. Qin Ya stopped for a while and looked at Qin Feng. Qin Feng smiled. "Feng Kingman, oh yeah, long live Feng Kingman. Long live brother Qin Feng." Even Qin Zhu, who had been sitting silently on the side, couldn't help looking at her hands excitedly at this moment, and muttered, "I have become a Dharma protector. Feng Kingman, Qin Feng. A good name. There is a word for Feng. Qin is also homophonic with king. It's amazing. Qin Shichen touched it and said happily. Not only for the establishment of Feng Kingman, but also for the improvement of their own status. Like this group of children, they all have uncontrollable excitement in their hearts, but after all, they are people who have experienced strong winds and waves, so they all enjoyed it. What? A Feng Kingman? I'll tell you uncle, I'm sure he'll be very happy too. After finishing speaking, Qin's father took his mobile phone and dialed his brother Qin Hongfu's number. Hey, is it Xiaofu? Ah yes, he agreed. It's called Feng Kingman, and he made you an elder. Are you happy? Then tomorrow, listening to his father's conversation and the laughter of the people around, Qin Feng looked at the ceiling and took a deep breath. From now on, he is the head of the sect. From now on, he and the entire Qin family will be grasshoppers on a rope, and they will share weal and woe together. Heaven will give great responsibility to the people. Qin Feng thought to himself. Chapter 17 Celebration. A few months later, it was winter. Crystal snowflakes fluttered in the sky, and the wind was cold. Qin Feng stood on the top of the mountain and looked into the distance. The clouds were thick in the air, and it was endless gray. However, the earth was covered in silver, and the shaking made people unable to open their eyes. At this moment, Qin straight up from the bottom of the mountain, stepping on the snow without a trace. Sect Master, everything is ready, just waiting for you to ascend the throne. Qin bowed and cupped her hands. Qin Feng turned around, smiled, and said, Qin, didn't you tell me not to use my honorific title? At least don't use it in private. No matter what, I'm still your cousin. Qin's big black eyes rolled around and said, then cousin, let's go to the celebration quickly. Well, let's go. After that, the two floated straight down from the top of the mountain point. In the past few months, the entire Qin family has been rolling up and practicing hard, as if tomorrow is the end of the world. Qin Feng also said with a wry smile, everyone should combine work and rest, don't be in a hurry. Immortality is a long process, but everyone agreed with their mouths. But after they went back, they still rolled in each other. Qin Feng doubted whether his decision to let them know the end was coming was wrong. But this is not a bad thing. At least, the Qin family is now united as never before, and the family looks prosperous. And the hardest part of the whole family is probably Qin Hongfu, uncle of Qin Feng. Because on the one hand he was busy cultivating, and on the other hand he was busy preparing for the celebration. At the beginning, when I heard that Feng Kingman was established, and Qin Feng was elected as the suzerain, Qin Hongfu thought hard all night. The next day, he insisted that a grand celebration would be held for the establishment of Feng Kingman, and he also said that he would buy a piece of land in Dukao village and build an auditorium for the Qin family to hold meetings and discuss important matters. Qin Feng was reluctant at first, thinking that Taixing had moved the crowd point, but Qin Feng couldn't beat him uncle, so he had to agree. But I still advise to keep it as simple as possible. As a result, Qin Hongfu started to do it single-handedly. In this way, Qin Hongfu was busy running around, and after a few months, he lost a lot of weight. But his spirit became more and more full, and even the slightly exposed beer belly was gone. Look, cousin, that's the auditorium of our Feng Kingman. How about it? Is it stylish? Qin said, pointing to a tall and straight building at the end of the road. Qin Feng squinted and looked at it, and slightly. Really atmospheric. The brick wood structure has 4 floors in total, in the shape of a pavilion. The roof is covered with cyan glazed tiles, and the walls are painted with vermilion paint. The whole building stands in the snow, and has a unique flavor. When Qin Feng and the others walked in, they found that the auditorium and the surroundings were crowded with people. When they saw Qin Feng coming, they all lowered their heads, and shouted in unison, I have seen the sect master. Qin Feng is not surprised. After all, he has gotten used to it over the past few months. Qin Hongfu also explained that in formal occasions, everyone must call him by his honorary title, and there are no rules. If the prestige of the suzerain cannot be established at the beginning, then there will be no right to speak in the later period. Qin Feng nodded, and everyone raised their heads. They looked at Qin Feng one by one with excitement on their faces. Under Qin's lead, Qin Feng went up to the 4th floor of the auditorium. Here, you can stand tall and overlook all beings. At this time, the elders such as Qin's father, Qin's mother, Qin Hongfu, Qin Wen, Qin Zhu and Qin Haoxu were already standing in the stands on the 4th floor. Everyone bowed their heads, but was lifted up by a force. Everyone is my right hand man, and I have already saluted just now, so I'll let it go this time, Qin Feng said. When everyone looked at Qin Feng again, they found that he was still standing there without any movement on his body. With just his thoughts, he used his spiritual power to hold so many of them up without any effort. Everyone was secretly shocked, and they admired Qin Feng one more. Qin Hongfu stretched out his hand and said, "Sect Master, please come this way." Everyone moved out of the way and let Qin Hongfu and Qin Feng walk to the stand, where a microphone was placed impressively. "Wait a moment, Sect Master." After Qin Hongfu finished speaking, he walked to the microphone. He cleared his throat and then said, "Everyone is quiet, look this way." The loud voice immediately spread throughout the venue. Today is an important day. Although it was confirmed a few months ago, the ceremony has not yet been officially held. Throughout the ages, whenever a country is established and an emperor ascends the throne, it will be announced to the world. Although our Qin family is not so exaggerated, there must be a process. So now, let the suzerain speak. After Qin Hongfu finished speaking, he turned to look at Qin Feng. Qin Feng stepped forward, cleared his throat, and said, "Well, everyone, since you trust me, I will definitely live up to everyone's trust. As for me, it's still the same sentence. Let's help each other and face difficulties together. I believe we will pass the apocalypse safely and create brilliance together." Qin Feng paused. "Well, I announce that from now on, the Qin family will be officially established." Bang bang bang, bang bang bang. At this time, countless salutes sounded, accompanied by the cheers of all the Qin family. "Long live Sect Master! Long live Feng Kingman! Long live Sect Master! Long live Feng Kingman! Long live Sect Master! Long live Feng Kingman!" Chapter 18 The Troubles of the Whole Clan. After the celebration, another year passed. There are still 5 years until the end. Over the past year, all the Qin family members have gathered in Ducal Village. They bought land and houses in Ducal Village and lived in seclusion in order to concentrate on their cultivation. In Ducal Village, apart from dozens of villagers with different surnames, the rest are from the Qin family. Ducal Village has become a veritable Qinjia village. And there are earth-shaking changes happening here every day. Today, the residential building was not demolished, but tomorrow the land was acquired and a pavilion was built. All in all, the Qin family of Feng Kingman completely remodeled Ducal Village. There are antique buildings everywhere, making it a tourist attraction, and tourists from all over the country gradually flocked. On this day, Qin Feng's house was surrounded by water, but they were surprisingly quiet. Because the elders and guardians of Feng Kingman are all in the courtyard and are discussing with Qin Feng. Sect Master, this matter is urgent and should be done immediately, said Qin Yangji, the elder of Feng Kingman. Feng Kingman now has 9 elders. The first elder Qin Yangshao, the second elder Qin Yangliang, the third elder Qin Yangji, the fourth elder Qin Hongbo, the fifth elder Wu Zihu, the sixth elder Qin Shicheng, the seventh elder Fang Shumi, the eighth elder Qin Hongfu, and the ninth elder Qin Yinghao. Among them, Qin Yangshao, Qin Yanglian and Qin Yangji are brothers. Their father and the father of the 2 brothers Hongbo Hongfu, that is, Qin Feng's grandfather, are brothers, but the 2 old people have passed away. Qin Yinghao was Qin Feng's cousin and the youngest among the elders, only 42 years old. Uncle, what you said is really reasonable, but it will cost a lot of money to do this. And where is it better to build it? Qin Feng said to Qin Yangshao. You don't have to worry about the cost, I'll come out. Uncle Qin Hongfu patted his chest and said. That's so embarrassing, not to mention uncle, your money is not inexhaustible. Sect Master, what are you talking about? We are a family, and we are already members of a sect, so why bother with all this? But, don't be so. In the future my money will be the money of the whole sect. Qin Feng thought for a moment and said, well, then, I will appoint you as the financial director of our Fengking sect. In the future everyone's property will be handed over as sect funds. You can choose a few from the sect. A person with a good brain and a good mind can be a helper. Hearing this, Qin Hongfu couldn't help but light up and lowered his head. Thank you, Sect Master. Also, in fact, I already have a plan to make money in my heart. Tell me, everyone. Looked at Qin Feng. I don't know if you have noticed that Dukao village has actually been completely occupied by our Qin family, and there are very few people with different surnames in the village. We can develop tourism in Dukao village. At that time, the industrial chain of restaurants, hotels, and farmhouses will be formed. However, such a huge business will definitely consume a lot of manpower and material resources. We all have to cultivate impending. It is impossible for someone to take care of it every day. Qin Hongbo said. Qin Fu was stopped by his elder brother's question, and he couldn't help but groan and ponder. This is indeed a dilemma. At this time, Wu Zhu said, how about we let our Fenkingman disciples take turns to manage the business in the early stage, and then hire outsiders to help take care of the business when the business gradually expands. Yes, this method is very good. Everyone clapped their legs and shouted. In this way, the economic problem of the operation of the sect is temporarily solved. At this time, the first elder Qin Yangshao spoke again. Don't forget the purpose of our meeting point. If the economic problem is solved in this way, there will be more ordinary people entering and leaving our Dukao village. Can you guarantee that the matter of cultivating immortals will be certain, won't be exposed, as our cultivation level grows? It is unavoidable to compete with each other, so we will come to the suzerain to discuss the construction of a special martial arts arena, which is not only durable, but also concealed to ensure that the sound of our fighting will not be heard. Attract outsiders. Qin Yangshao's words made everyone silent. Yeah, that's another dilemma. I will solve this problem, so don't worry about it. Qin Feng suddenly said at this moment. Sect Master, do you have a solution? The people who heard this were surprised and happy. I saw Qin Feng nodded. Now I have been able to set up the enchantment formation, which can ensure that no one within a radius of tens of kilometers can detect any abnormality. Right. Now, I don't know where it can be used as a competition venue for our Fenkingman. Everyone looked at each other. Yes, all the places that can be developed in the village have been developed, and there is no such a big place for them to compete. Just when everyone was distressed, Qin Yinghao spoke. I remember when I was a forest ranger, I inspected the forest behind the village and found that there was a large basin that was level and could be used as a martial arts training place for our Fenkingman. Really? Far. The crowd was overjoyed. It's not too far. It's only about 10 miles away. With a light work, it's a matter of minutes. Qin Yinghao said. Qin Feng nodded and said, okay, it's not too late. Let's start work quickly. Remember, this matter can only be known to the people in the sect. Yes, Sect Master. Uncle Bio, you pick a few people who are engaged in construction and understand civil engineering and go there to divide the place first. Uncle, just take a few people to buy materials. After the meeting, everyone was talking happily. Hahaha, I will have a place to show my skills in the future. What are you proud of? It's not that you can't beat me. What are you doing? In the past, I was afraid that I would make too much noise to attract outsiders, and I couldn't use it. This time is different. If you don't believe me, we will compete after the competition field is built. Okay, let's see if I don't beat you to the ground. The 7 guardians headed by Kinzu were also very excited. They had never had a good fight before, and they were all in closed door cultivation. At present, Qin Hao's cultivation base is still the highest, and he is already the 3rd rank of Hualong Point, followed by Kinzu and Qin Yu, who are the 1st rank of Hualong Point. Then there are 2 siblings, Qin Yao and Qin Wen, who are the pinnacle of the 4-pole secret realm. And Qin Xiaoyu and Qin Yuchen. One is in the middle stage of the 4-pole secret realm, and the other is in the early stage point. Although it is said that there are differences in talent and understanding between them, and the realm is also high and low, but in actual combat, it is not certain who will die. They often heard Qin Feng say, high cultivation is nothing. When the doomsday comes, it is only true that you can survive in the face of thousands of monsters and beasts. Therefore, Qin Feng often competes with them and simulates actual combat in order to improve their combat experience when he is usually fine. Now finally have the opportunity to play a hearty game. Who is not excited? Thinking of this, everyone is gearing up. Chapter 19. The competition field was soon put into construction. Although the amount of work was not small, as long as the money was in place, everything was a small problem. It just so happens that Qin Feng, who is in charge of busy schedules, is not bad for money. The materials needed to build the competition field are all top notch. Whoever makes Qin Feng talk about it is that people don't know what money is and what money is. In the past 2 months, the competition field has been basically completed. Under the leadership of Qin Feng, everyone rushed to the arena impatiently to see what it was like. Although he is an elder, Qin Feng, who accompanied Qin Feng, asked respectfully, "Sect Master, you see, the entire competition field is completed according to the plan I told you earlier. I don't know if there are any areas that need to be improved. Just say it, and I will arrange for someone to do it immediately." Qin Feng looked around, feeling pretty good, and replied with a smile, "Fourth uncle, I think it's already very good. Recently, you have worked hard. Hey, it's not hard, isn't it alright?" Qin Feng got a compliment from Qin Feng, and his smiling mouth was almost split behind his ears. Everyone looked around. There were 6 competition platforms in total, all of which were built with top-grade marble, and they looked very atmospheric. It's good now. I finally have a place where I can show my skills. I can't help itching my hands. I can't wait to find someone to do 2 tricks now. Seeing this competition stage, I feel like I can fight 10. Qin Yu and others who came together couldn't hide their excitement on their faces. Qin Feng was still in the arrogance after being praised by Qin Feng. He rubbed his hands and said with a smile, "The competition is still not successful now. There is too much movement and there is a danger of exposure. Sect Master, I remember you said that when the competition field is completed, you can set up the enchantment formation. You have to prepare it?" Qin Feng stood there casually and smiled, his tone indifferent. "Why do you need to prepare? Arrange the formation. You can do it at any time." You all step back. Everyone quickly stepped back a few steps and looked at Qin Feng with anticipation. Qin Feng stood there, his clothes fluttering, and his temperament was outstanding. Between his hands were everted, as if the colorful rays of light were surging out in an instant, and he did not enter the competition arena, and disappeared in a blink of an eye. In a trance. Many people have an illusion, as if nothing happened. Okay, hearing Qin Feng's words, Qin Wen was stunned and blurted out, "Really? Is this alright?" Although the others did not speak, they had similar doubts in their hearts. Qin Feng stood with his hands behind his back, smiling indifferently. "What? You don't believe it? Well, you can try to attack with all your strength." This is not good. If I do my best, the competition field I just built will be destroyed. At that time, the 4th uncle will not have to play with me. Brother Feng, don't make fun of me. Let you do your best, and you can do it. There is so much nonsense. If something goes wrong, it's up to me. Hearing this, Qin Wen felt that he was properly underestimated. Can he bear it? "Sect Master, this is what you said. I can take action." Taking a deep breath, Qin Wen shouted angrily, "The wind is coming." At what time? Within a few meters with Qin Wen as the center, there was a strong wind turbulent, and then it rushed out and attacked the competition arena. Can't help but worry, won't you really destroy the just built competition arena? When everyone's thoughts were different, there was a muffled bang. The tyrannical wind stimulated by Qin Wen was like hitting an invisible defensive wall, but instead, there was a stronger force that surged out. Qin Wen, who never expected such a thing to happen, was knocked flying by the force that came back. His butt landed first, and slipped several meters away. Ouch. My asterisk. Qin Wen jumped up, clutching his buttocks, his face twisted. He didn't have to think about it to know that, although his body could bear it, his pants definitely couldn't bear it. Others were amused, but couldn't help but marvel. I felt Qin Feng was joking just now. Who would have thought that the formation barrier that was arranged in the blink of an eye would turn out to be unparalleled? Qin Wen's strength was not weak. The more I think about it, the more I feel that Qin Feng's strength is unfathomable. Qin Ya clapped her hands and blurted out happily, "It's great. I can finally do my best to learn from each other here. My parents in the province said that if I study at home, I'm tearing down the house. Sister, what you said is too elegant. My parents said that you are and will only tear down the house. Okay. Qin Wen, who was clutching his butt, continued. Liu eyebrows were raised, and Qin Ya glanced at her brother. What did you say? Well, sister and brother are often a strange relationship. Even if Qin Wen's current strength is not inferior to his sister at all, he still shivered in fear, and his blood was suppressed properly. I didn't say anything. I have to go home and change my pants. For fear that the old sister would break her skull if she was ruthless. Qin Wen, who clutched his butt, fled, and everyone couldn't help but burst into laughter. After the meeting, Qin Hongfu said, Sect Master, what Xiaoya said is actually quite good. Now, our clan finally has a place to rest assured and can show their talents. Qin Feng smiled and nodded. Well, in 7 days, we will gather all the clan cultivators and hold a contest in the martial arts arena, and you are all suffocated. Having said that, since this is the first official contest in the group, I will be the suzerain. Yes, you have to come up with some trophies too. Qin Heo, who hasn't spoke much for a long time, regained his energy, his eyes lit up, and he said, the lottery that the sect master took out is definitely not bad. I'm looking forward to it. Brother Feng, hurry up and tell me, what kind of luck the top 3 in the competition can follow me and practice for a month. Is this a lucky winner? Hearing this, not only Qin Heo, but other people's eyes lit up. How can this be? It's simply too good. Okay. Opportunities to follow Qin Feng to receive guidance are hard to come by. Brother Feng, you're not joking. Are you kidding us? True or false? Even if I try my best, I have to seize this opportunity. This opportunity is mine. Everyone, whoever wants to fight with me, just pull the knife. Come 1 and I will do 1. Come 2 and do 1 pair. Everyone, you said what I said. That posture, I can't wait to tell the difference now, so that I can get the opportunity to practice with Qin Feng for a month. No one expected that someone suddenly said, Sect Master, I think this lottery is not good. Please think twice before doing it. As soon as these words came out, many people present couldn't help but be stunned. Although Qin Feng has a good temper, no one has ever questioned it in person, and I don't know who ate bear heart and leopard gall. Chapter 20 Accidental Sudden Contingency. Qin Hongfu was very respectful to Qin Feng. He couldn't bear it, and blurted out, which B*** D is talking nonsense there, and dares to question the words of the sect master? After speaking, he turned his head, and looked at him, his face instantly embarrassed. That, big brother, yes, it's you. Hi, the weather is really nice today. The person who questioned Qin Feng just now was Qin's father, Qin Hongbo. Even if Qin Feng was the suzerain, it seemed only right and proper for me to take care of his son. Qin Hongfu felt that his mouth was too fast. Qin Feng couldn't be annoyed, so he asked with a smile, Dad, do you think this is inappropriate? Xiaoya Feng, have you ever thought that everyone can learn from each other and click on it until now? Now, because there is an opportunity to practice with you, then during the competition, if you get angry and cause damage to your own family, but it's not good. Qin Hongfu immediately nodded in response. Brother is right. Well, it's a typical wall-headed grass. Anyone who speaks thinks it makes sense. No wonder he can become a big boss. Dad, I also thought about the question you mentioned. However, do you still remember what we originally cultivated for? Qin Ya blurted out. Of course I remember. It is to have enough ability when the end comes, not only to protect ourselves, but also to save as many people as we can. Nodding, Qin Feng continued to speak with a smile. Not bad. You should all be able to imagine that when all races of monsters and beasts invade our planet, they won't stop and show no mercy. That's a real life and death struggle. Everyone is now cultivating the way of immortality, cultivating magic slaughtering skills, and what they face in the end is life and death struggle. How can it be a child's play? Only by constantly improving your strength, constantly facing tests, and even life and death struggle. Can you break through your body point? If you can't do this, how can you survive when facing the invasion of all races, monsters, and beasts? Everyone fell silent for a moment, knowing that Qin Feng's words made sense. After Qin Hangbo pondered, he sighed. Dad's thinking is too conservative. You are right. Even when we are discussing, we should try our best. Sect Master is right. We will do our best. The more you sweat when you are sparring, and the less blood you bleed when you are fighting for life and death. Seeing that everyone understood what he meant, Qin Feng looked slightly relieved and said, of course, everything has to be done step by step, and I don't want to see any damage to everyone. In the competition after 7 days, I will personally act as the arbiter. Once a thorny problem arises, I will take action to solve it. Show your strength, and I will solve your worries for you. From the very beginning, it was Qin Feng who told everyone that everyone took the path of immortality step by step. For Qin Feng, almost everyone present had blind trust. At this time, there was no doubt, and they said in unison, thank you, Sect Master. In the end, the family doesn't talk about the two, so don't be polite. Let's prepare separately. After returning from the competition arena, the touched people once again threw themselves into the practice of racing against time. After Qin Feng became the sect master, when there was nothing in the sect, he would still maintain a normal rhythm of life, standing on the cliff every day, facing the rising sun, absorbing the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. 3 days later, Qin Feng was meditating in his room when he suddenly heard Qin Wen's hurried voice coming from the outer door. Brother Feng, it's not good. Something big has happened. While speaking, with a bang, the door of the room was pushed open, and Qin Wen rushed in like a small whirlwind. Qin Feng's expression was still calm, and he said, don't worry, what happened? Me, my sister and Qin Yu fought in the arena. What? There's a fight, because of what? While speaking, Qin Feng had already stood up, stretched out his body, and rushed to the competition field with Qin Wen. At first, my sister and Qin Yu were just chatting. Later, when we talked about the big competition in a few days, my sister said that she would definitely get the opportunity to follow you. Qin Yu said casually, that's not necessarily true. You are not strong enough. The strongest, the two of you are talking to me, and the more you talk, the more stiff you are. You have to compete in the martial arts arena. It was fine at first, but in the end, the two of them seemed to be angry. No one listened to persuasion. Come on, they're all dead. Qin Feng frowned, and always felt that this matter was a bit strange. Qin Feng understood the personalities of Qin Ya and Qin Yu. Although Qin Ya sometimes digs the horns, it is not enough to kill him, just because of a few words level. Why didn't you tell me earlier, Qin Wen blurted out, I've already rushed to tell you as fast as I can. You grew your head, not to increase your height, but to make you think about problems. Don't you know how to make a phone call? Reaching out and patted his forehead, Qin Wen said with a sad face. F***K. When I got excited, I forgot. After becoming an immortal cultivator, his movement speed was too fast, and as a result, he came in a hurry, and he really forgot about the big phone call. Worried that Qin Ya and Qin Yu had a problem, Qin Feng's speed soared again, as if it turned into an afterimage. When I arrived at the competition arena, I faintly heard persuasive voices constantly coming. Don't fight the two of you. If you continue like this, something will happen. It's all my own family, because this little thing hurts the peace. It's not worth it. Hurry up and stop. Qin Ya, stop. Qin Yu, you are a man. A good man doesn't fight with a woman. Stop it now. Despite the constant shouting and persuasion of the surrounding people, Qin Ya and Qin Yu on the martial arts stage, with gloomy expressions on their faces, turned a deaf ear and still tried their best. Whirlwind around Qin Ya's body. It was as if countless wind blades condensed, rushing towards Qin Yu one after another. Kill. In the roar of anger, Qin Yu's fists agitated, and there were countless fist shadows that inspired a tyrannical fist force, dazedly with the momentum of destroying everything and pounding. Qin Yu's strength is a little stronger than Qin Ya, but now that he really wants to fight for life and death, it is still unknown who will die. Bang bang bang. The Turbulent strength of the two continued to impact, making silent collisions and popping sounds thanks to the martial arts field. There is a magic circle formed by Qin Feng, otherwise, the sound would have spread for dozens of miles. The two were originally a little far apart, but at this time, their eyes became a little red, their faces were cyan, and their faces were even more hideous, and they kept getting closer. Die, kill, in the blink of an eye, the two of them burst out with a tyrannical fighting spirit, and their bodies were like two torrents of steel, rushing towards each other. The exclamation sounded one after another, and this time, it was really going to be a winner and a loser, as well as life and death. Chapter 21. Oh men. Those onlookers can only act in a hurry, and cannot stop them at all. Once the intervene strengths, maybe they will die first in the impact of the 2 points in the blink of an eye. The after image passed by. The tongue bursts with spring thunder, and the trance instantly points directly at the heart, like the thunder of the 9 heavens, rising from the ground. A figure came at high speed, standing proudly, at the center of Qin and Qin Yu's violent impact. The left and right hands are turned over at the same time, and there is a flexible strength, and it comes out. Bang, bang, 2 muffled sounds, almost simultaneously. The exclamations of the audience rang out one after another, and the person who was in the middle of the two, secretly pinched a sweat. The impact force at the center is more than 10,000. Even a small hill may collapse in an instant. Who can withstand it? Who would dare to intervene in the duel between the two at this time, regardless of life and death? The tyrannical effort continued to erupt, and everyone onlookers was forced to step back. In the next moment, time seemed to stand still, and the picture was finally frozen. Although Qin and Qin Yu made their own efforts, they could no longer move forward half a point, and apart from the two, who else could be apart from the sect master Qin Feng? Stay calm, and return to your danshan. Qin Feng's voice seemed to carry a kind of magic, not only to let the onlookers calm down from their anxious state in an instant, but the hideous expressions on Qin and Qin Yu's faces gradually dissipated. Stick to your heart, and be at ease without yourself. As Qin Feng's voice sounded again, the strange colors in Qin and Qin Yu's eyes began to fade away. Finally, Qin Yu took the lead in withdrawing his strength, and stood on the spot, while Qin gradually withdrew his strength, and his expression became a little dazed. What's wrong with me, Qin? Couldn't understand for a while why she had the thought of burning jade and stone just now. That is obviously Qin Yu. In the final analysis, he is also a clan, and he is not even much different from his family. Not only Qin Yu also has the same doubts. What happened? How could I be like that? Qin Feng endured the peak impact of the two, but he was still very calm, and said slowly, don't think too much, just follow what I said, stay calm, and stick to your heart. Yes, sect master. After the two of them responded at the same time, a grateful look appeared on their faces. Fools all understand that, if Qin Feng hadn't appeared and stopped the two at a critical moment, it would be difficult for both of them to retreat today. This is a life-saving grace. When the other onlookers saw the two returning to normal, they breathed a sigh of relief. When they looked at Qin Feng again, their eyes were full of amazement and admiration. It's not that no one has thought about separating the desperate two people, but he really can't do it. Qin Feng resolved a crisis with his gestures, otherwise, he was the suzerain. Qin Wen arrived late, and hurriedly shouted, how is my sister? It was only when he found out that Qin and Qin Yu were alright, he breathed a sigh of relief. It's good to be fine, it's good to be fine. I'm not talking too much, sister, what are you doing? You. Shut up first. Qin Feng interrupted Qin Wen's words and continued, your sister and Qin Yu, it's best not to be disturbed now, go over there and talk. Good. After everyone waiting to the side, gathered around, Qin Wen said in a puzzled way, Brother Feng, what happened to me, my sister? Did you not notice anything unusual when the two of them fought against each other just now? After pondering, someone said, I feel that the expressions of the two of them are very wrong, and they look a bit hideous. The eyes are still red, and it looks a little scary. How do you say it? It just gives people a very hostile feeling. Everyone started chatting. Qin Feng waved his hand and stopped discussing. The two of them were on the verge of going crazy just now. Going crazy? After hearing Qin Feng's words, Qin Wen's eyes everyone were bigger than bullseyes. Qin Feng nodded and continued, yes, it's just a fire. As soon as the words were said, there was a sudden shout outside the competition arena. Come on someone, something happened, help, come quickly. Everyone was stunned, only to realize that Qin Feng, who was still there just now, had already flashed out of the arena in the blink of an eye. The other people rushed out after realizing it, and they felt more and more that the gap between Qin Feng and Qin Feng was not a little bit at all at this time. Outside the competition arena, there are also two members of the Qin family who are constantly taking action. Qin, why did you fight with brother Heo? Qin, who was exhausted, said with tears, I didn't want to fight. Brother Heo suddenly attacked me, like he was going crazy, so what should I do? I can only be forced to fight back. Qin Feng frowned, feeling that things were getting more and more wrong. The next moment, the figure flashed, and before everyone present could react, Qin Feng had already reached Qin. The tongue burst into spring thunder, shocking and paralleled. Brother Heo, who took the mad shot, visibly trembled. Then, Qin Feng's voice resumed, stay calm, and return to your danshan, brother. Heo had stopped unconsciously, and according to Qin Feng, the strength gradually recovered. Qin Wen smacked his mouth aside. He felt that something was wrong. According to what brother Feng said, it was obviously like going crazy. As for the immortal cultivation, how come halfway through the process, it is too dangerous, and it will scare the baby to death. Qin Feng was already checking brother Heo's body. After a while, he went to see Qin Yao and Qin Yu. The overall situation of the three people is similar. Without warning, there is an endless desire to kill in their hearts. Once they make a move, they have no scruples. Even the people who are most familiar with them will do it. In general, there is a judgment in his heart, but Qin Feng is not completely sure. After pondering, Qin Feng beckoned Qin Wen to come over. After checking the body carefully, Qin Feng asked other immortal cultivators from the tribe to come and check them one by one. Qin Wen said a little nervously, brother Feng, what are you doing? Why do you have to check? How can you get into trouble? It's like an infectious disease. Don't scare me. It's better for me to get into trouble, right? You really said the right thing. It's like a contagion. It's really like an infectious disease. I checked it just now, and there are more or less signs of infatuation in your body, but you haven't just feel it. Hearing this, Qin Wen lost his voice. I am going to make a big deal. How can this happen? The other people are more or less, their faces are a little unnatural. To say that they are not afraid, it must be fake. After a brief hesitation and confusion, everyone looked at Qin Feng involuntarily. In their hearts, Qin Feng seemed to be omnipotent and would definitely be able to solve all problems. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22, Suppressing Demons with the Way. Qin Feng did not disappoint everyone, but after a brief pondering, he said, there are many reasons for immortal cultivators to go crazy, either because of the obsession in their hearts, or because of external influences. The situation you are facing now should be affected by external influences. Where is the external influence? Qin Wen's expression was still confused. Remember what I told you. In a few more years, the end will come, and as time approaches, some things are already affected. The so-called spring duck prophet. As an immortal cultivator, your body has no effect on external perception is more obvious, and it is very easy to cause a tragedy of misunderstanding. Everyone's faces changed wildly, and they couldn't help but say, well, how can this be done? What are you panicking about? Isn't the sect master there? Qin Yao and the others have gone into trouble, and they were all resolved by the sect master. The problem is that the sect master can't be there all the time. If he suddenly goes into trouble, it will become a dead end. That's right, it's over. This is a rhythm of barbecue. Qin Wen couldn't help but said loudly, okay, it's useless to say a few words less. Isn't brother Feng here? There must be a way to solve it. For a time, everyone looked at Qin Feng with hope again. After thinking for a while, Qin Feng said, don't panic everyone, there are definitely solutions. The most urgent thing at the moment, I must first check the physical condition of the clan members one by one to avoid accidents. Qin Wen, you are responsible for informing all the immortal cultivators in the clan to restrain your demons. Brother Feng, no problem. I promise to complete the task. Qin Wen's voice was full of excitement, but in fact, not only him, but other people also had excited expressions. The process of everyone becoming an immortal cultivator is basically the same. They are all thrown over by Qin Feng to cover the sky, but there are very few people who have really accepted Qin Feng's instructions, and listen to Qin Feng's teachings. Now is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It really depends on misfortune and good fortune. If there is no such thing as going crazy, then there must be no preaching. Okay, let's go first. With me here, nothing will happen. Qin Feng's tone of voice is not sonorous and forceful, but very indifferent. The more it is like this, the more the clansmen feel, and there is no more panic spread. You have to come early tomorrow to get a good seat. There are not many opportunities like this. You must seize it. Fatty, let's go. Why don't you go? The sect master will preach tomorrow. Hey, stupid, I am going to stay here now. I won't leave. Now, I can't believe I can't have a good position. I'm lying on the grass, and you're still a fat man. Why didn't I think of it? No, I have to wait here, and I'm not going anywhere. The clansmen who heard the news were all excited, and some really started to line up from now on. Qin Feng also visited the homes of some clansmen, carefully inspected the body, and found that there were signs of being beaten to death to varying degrees. Fortunately, it was discovered early. If it broke out in a concentrated manner, Qin Feng was a god, and it was impossible to have 3 heads and 6 arms, and all of them could be solved in an instant point in a blink of an eye. A day passed. None of the Qin family was left behind, and they all rushed to the arena early to wait. Originally, they were still chatting with each other, which seemed a little noisy. Until the door opened. Qin Feng, dressed in white, came slowly. Almost at the same moment, everyone was subconsciously silent, and their eyes couldn't help looking at Qin Feng. Invisibly, Qin Feng already has a detached aura, making everyone dare not make trouble. Slowly reaching the center, Qin Feng looked around and finally spoke. Everyone must know what they are here for today. Don't panic too much about things that go into trouble. The so-called phase is born from the heart. Only when you have no fear in your heart can you get a glimpse of the true meaning of Dao. With Qin Feng's opening, in the faint, colorful rays of light rose from Qin Feng's back, reaching the sky. Many people blinked their eyes subconsciously, thinking that they must have read it wrong. However, when I looked at it, I found that everything was real. In the sky, there were no signs of auspicious clouds gathering, all of which were entered into colorful rays of light. At this moment, not to mention the competition field, even the entire village, in the mountains and forests, regardless of insects, fish, birds and beasts, seemed to become surprisingly silent in an instant. According to legend, the saint preaches and solves doubts. Between heaven and earth, there is only one person standing proudly. 10,000 people bow their heads, and all things close their voices. Qin Feng's voice was slow, and those who listened to the clansmen, like a breeze blowing their faces, unconsciously entered a state of forgetting things. And I standing in the crowd. Qin Feng is dashing and elegant. People say that immortals are omnipotent, but no one has ever seen what immortals look like. Until today, when those Qin family members saw Qin Feng's state and temperament at this time, they unconsciously thought, oh, the so-called immortals are probably like this. Colorful rays of light continue to diffuse and render. Those Qin family members are fascinated. After about a cup of tea, ding, Qin Haoxu broke through to the 5th rank of dragon transformation. Ding, Qin Ya has broken through to the 2nd level of dragon transformation. Ding, Qin Wen broke through to the 1st rank of dragon transformation. Ding, because Qin Feng was preaching to clear up doubts. The clansmen and cultivators present were suppressed, and their strength began to soar on the spot, and almost everyone had breakthroughs to varying degrees. There was a look of surprise on his face, and he kept sighing in his heart that the sect master Qin Feng was amazing. It was just a sermon, but it was much more effective than their practice. If it wasn't for Qin Feng's aura, someone would probably have screamed wildly, "Don't stop. Continue to talk to me until you die." Ding. The host's reward is issued, and you get a dragon slaughtering done. your cultivation base has broken through to the peak of Sendai's realm of power, and you are only one line away from becoming an emperor. I'm optimistic about you, and continue to cheer. Well, the system is a bit skinny, and this is the first time to say something like you are optimistic. Qin Feng could feel the surging spiritual energy in his body. Seeing the respectful faces of the clansmen, he couldn't help thinking that, when they were thanking themselves, they would never have imagined that the person who really had a huge harvest was actually Qin Feng. Point at the end of the preaching time of half an hour before and after, everyone was still unsatisfied. Okay, let's go here first today. Everyone must understand the truth that too much is too late. Qin Feng said so. Of course other people can't really shout the last sentence. Don't stop. Continue to talk. Tell me to death. They got up and said respectfully, "Thank you, Sect Master." Qin Feng waved his hand, turned and left gracefully, but he was still thinking about it. The current situation is only a cure for the symptoms, not the root cause. The crisis is far from being truly resolved. Chapter 23. There must be a way before the car reaches the mountain. The competition of the immortal cultivators and the clan that was supposed to be good was shelved because of the incident. Another point is that everyone is busy comprehending and digesting Qin Feng's sermon that day. The more I recall and comprehend, the more profound I feel. Many people can still comprehend something from Qin Feng's sermons in the next few days, so as to improve their strength. When the clansmen saw Qin Feng, they became more and more respectful. In the blink of an eye, a few more days passed, and the worrying infatuation did not happen again. Qin Feng was meditating in the room when there was a knock on the door. When I opened my eyes to check, there was a flash of cold light, and then the brilliance became warm. Qin Feng's strength was steadily improving, and it was indeed only a line away from becoming an emperor. Come in. The door of the room was pushed open. It was Qin Haoxu, Qin Wen and others. After all, they have known Qin Feng for a longer time. Compared with other clansmen, these people will not appear so restrained in front of Qin Feng. Smiling, Qin Feng said, "What, do you have something to do with me?" Qin Hao learned from a few people. You look at me, I look at you. And finally Qin Wen, who was outspoken, spoke up. Brother Feng, that's right. Everyone wants to ask you when you can preach again. Apparently, because of Qin Feng's sermon a few days ago, after the strength of several people soared to varying degrees, they became unforgettable. There is no such plan for the time being. Huh. Alright, Qin. Wen couldn't hide the disappointment on the faces of several people. Smiling, Qin Feng explained, I understand what you're thinking. However, the first time you preach, you will understand more and faster. Even if you continue to preach in the future, the effect will definitely not be so good. As a cultivator, you can't have too much luck. Moreover, you must lay a solid foundation now to avoid future mishaps. Qinya was stunned, her eyes widened a bit, and she asked, Brother Feng, isn't the good thing about going crazy not solved? What do you mean? Are we still in danger of going crazy? Qin Feng sighed slightly and said slowly, it's not as simple as you think. Do you remember what I said? Going crazy is because the doomsday is approaching, and you have been affected to varying degrees. Now, although the demons in your heart and the demonic energy in you are suppressed, but as the end approaches, the demonic energy will become more and more intense. Who can guarantee that you will not repeat the same mistakes at that time? The most important thing is one point, after you become immortal cultivators, your ability to resist demonic energy is relatively stronger, but some juniors among our clansmen, until now, have not been able to cultivate immortals, and once they have problems, it will be more troublesome. The expressions on everyone's faces became solemn. Qin Haoxu frowned and asked, Sect Master, is there no way to fundamentally solve this problem? In the past few days, I have been thinking about this matter, and there is no better way for the time being, but you can rest assured, I will definitely come up with a solution. The expressions of the others did not change much, but Qin Wen's face immediately became relaxed and happy. Brother Feng said that, if he can figure out a way, he will definitely be able to, then I don't have to worry about it. Qin Ya rolled her eyes helplessly and blurted out, you have such a big heart. It's not that I have a big heart, but I now unconditionally believe in Brother Feng. Isn't it bad enough to believe in Brother Feng's lesson? I don't want my bud to bloom again, mainly because I can't afford to lose that person. Everyone couldn't help but think of Qin Wen's attack on Qin Feng's mana enchantment in the competition arena point. After chatting casually for a while, several people knew that Qin Feng still had things to think about, so they didn't bother. Qin Feng sat quietly for a while, thought about it, but still had no clue, and finally patted his forehead. My brain, you can ask the system how to forget this. System, is there any way to get rid of the demonic energy in the human body and prevent it from going crazy? After the question, Qin Feng looked expectant and then was surprisingly silent. System? Still no response. Qin Feng blurted out, F***K. What's the situation? System, are you dead? Crazy, you just died. As long as the host doesn't die, I won't die. The system's voice finally sounded. Qin Feng breathed a sigh of relief and said, then I asked you just now, why didn't you respond? How fresh. Whoever said you asked, I would have to answer. Do you think I'm your long lost biological father? Do you have to get used to you? Qin Feng almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. How could this system become so arrogant? Sample, I still can't cure you. Believe it or not, I commit suicide, so you have to follow suit. No one else could believe it. When he said it, Qin Feng started working with the system on a whim. I thought this would scare me, but in the end, 2 words came out beautifully. Do not believe. I'll go. Do you have an uncle? I'll go to your uncle. Qin Feng was almost choked to death by a system, and he uttered foul language. Okay, I don't care about anything. The end of love is the end of the world. All races of monsters and beasts will invade if they want to invade. Anyway, I can't die, and who hasn't gotten angry yet? After a while, the system was probably shocked by Qin Feng's rascal words, and was unwilling to continue to stimulate Qin Feng, and finally returned to normal. It's not that there is no way, it's just that it's more troublesome. Qin Feng's eyes brightened a bit. Hurry up and say, if you have a way. It's not troublesome, it's not something you should be in charge of breaking the system. You are the only one who broke, and your whole family is broken. One person, one system. It seems to be working again. Okay, I apologize. I said the wrong thing. You are the uncle, right? Hurry up and talk about it. What can I do? Qin Feng decided that there are a lot of adults, and he will not compete with this broken system. At the end of the day, going crazy is also a disease. Huh? Then what? Qin Feng couldn't keep up with the system's train of thought. Okay, I am very worried about your IQ. Since it is a disease, there is naturally a cure for it. Jiazhen and Huchendan can completely remove the demonic energy and prevent other immortal cultivators from going crazy. Qin Feng let out a breath and finally found a way. Jiazhen, Huchendan, I didn't hear where the trouble was. As long as there was medicine to heal, it would be fine. Ding. The host will get a recipe for Jiazhen and Huchendan. Qin Feng already had a formula in his mind. He looked at it carefully. His face was unpredictable, and he couldn't help thinking what this formula is all about. Isn't the system deliberately messing with itself? Chapter 24. Out of the village. The medicinal materials required for the formula of Jiazhu and Huchundan started with 100-year-old Ganoderma lucidum, 100-year-old lake heart grass, a giant python in a bladder, and 1,000-year-old dragon head Polygonum multiflorum. After Qin Feng became an immortal cultivator, he was considered to be well informed, and he was still stunned. System, are you sure you're not kidding me? It's good for you to play? It's good. I will tease you every day. Ganoderma lucidum, he Xiaowu or something. I have heard of it. What is this lake heart grass? Qin Feng's tone was helpless. The grass in the heart of the lake is the grass in the heart of the lake. This answer is invincible. Saying it is the same as not saying it. Qin Feng took a deep breath and couldn't help but fight with the system again. Then, can you provide some of these herbs? Qin Feng asked expectantly, and then the system fell into a long silence. Well, you don't have to think too much to know that this broken system is too lazy to talk to Qin Feng. After thinking for a while in the room helplessly, Qin Feng decided to try it. There is no way. The time of doomsday is constantly approaching. The crisis of the existence of the clan must be contacted as soon as possible in order to be able to face the next great danger. Then find the medicinal materials and configure the 9-turn rejuvenation pill, which must be done now. Point. Although it is difficult, some things have to be done by someone. Qin Feng, the suzerain, has no shirk. Point. After making up his mind, Qin Feng quickly called the elders and guardians in the sect and bluntly said that he was going to leave the village for a while. The news was a bit sudden for others. Qin Hongfu blurted out, "Sect master, what's the matter? Since you are going out, you must bring 2 people with you to take care of you. So, how about I accompany you?" "Fourth uncle, I'm not that precious yet. I can take care of myself. You may be the chief financial officer in the sect, and you can't do without you, inside and out. I'll go out and do some things by myself, and it should be soon return." Qin Wen spoke loudly at this time. "Brother Feng, it's not appropriate for the 4th uncle to follow you. Then I'll go with you. If something happens, I can protect you." When the words fell, Qin Wen found that everyone present looked at him with surprisingly consistent eyes, as if they were looking at a big fool. "I'm going. Why are you looking at me like this? Is there something wrong with what I said?" Qin Ya covered her forehead, looking helpless. "You are really stupid. With your strength, protect Brother Feng. If something really happens, it is estimated that Brother Feng will protect you." Qin Wen was not convinced, but after thinking about it, it seemed to be the truth. The strength gap between himself and Qin Feng was too great. "Hey, yeah, maybe I'll be a drag." Seeing Qin Wen's hurt look, Qin Feng smiled and comforted. "Don't be discouraged. Work hard. You are indeed far worse than me now, but in 10 or 20 years, Qin Wen blurted out impatiently, "At that time, will I be able to be similar to your strength, Brother Feng? After 10 or 20 years, you will find that the gap in strength with me is even greater." Hearing this, Qin Wen almost spat out a mouthful of old blood, and his little heart suffered more than 10,000 critical damage. Everyone couldn't help laughing, diluting the panic and reluctance that Qin Feng was going to leave the village. "Okay, things are basically arranged. During my absence, if there is any problem, you can discuss it more. If something unexpected happens, bring everyone to the competition arena. There is an enchantment I set up there. Once I'm in danger or attacked, no matter where I am, I will feel it. Understand?" "Understood, Sect Master." After arranging everything, Qin Feng simply packed up and left the village alone without talking to the others. The herbs that Jiaozuan Hu Chundan needs, you can understand without thinking about it. It must not be a roadside stall. If you want to find a fight, it is estimated that you have to go to some deep mountains and old forests. In order to facilitate the journey, Qin Feng directly rose up against the wind, and the speed was very fast. After half a day, Qin Feng, who was about to enter a mountain range, frowned slightly. He felt that there was a car on the west road. It seemed that someone was still taking pictures. The speed disappeared without a trace in an instant. Point. At this moment, next to the car, the 2 young guys opened their mouths wide, with a ghostly expression. "During the day, am I really not dazzled? Then, what is that? Immortal cultivator. Immortal, your brain is flooded. There are some immortal cultivators. Then, tell me, what happened just now? Someone is really flying in the sky. Is this going into the mountains to escape the calamity? No, I have to send a short video quickly. This will definitely be on the hot search. It must be popular." The young man hurriedly opened the short video software and quickly edited a vulgar title. "Stunning eyeballs. There are immortal cultivators happening. I'm so stupid. You really posted it on the internet. I guess no one will read it." Unexpectedly, not long after the voice fell, there were continuous reminder messages in the background, and the following comments were already one after another. "This buddy is really good at it. Seeing the immortal cultivator, he really released it. It's all because of the lack of culture, and one word goes all over the world. Cow is just one word. I only say it once. Mom asked me why I was watching the video on my knees. I wanted to go directly to the teacher, take my knee, and give it to me to cultivate." The video soon became a hot search, with more and more comments, all kinds. Qin Feng didn't know anything about this matter, and it took almost a day to make money from the nearby mountains, but nothing. It seems that the speed is very fast, and there is a suspicion of coping. In fact, it is not. With Qin Feng's current strength, his perception of spiritual energy is extremely keen. As night fell, Qin Feng didn't go out of his way to find a place to rest, so he took him to the barren mountains. As for worrying about encountering beasts and the like, it is too much. If you really want to meet them, you should be afraid and worried about those beasts and the like. Qin Feng was closing his eyes and resting when the phone rang. It seemed that the place was not bad, at least there was a signal. Qin. When? What happened? Grass, 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 frowning helplessly, this opening sentence 3 times in a row, nothing to do with anything, nervous? Or insane? No, brother Feng, you are on fire, really hot, what's the matter? Show you a video, although it's just the back, I can see it at a glance, it must be you. Qin Feng was stunned, and soon, Qin Wen sent the video, and at a glance, it was the video of Qin Feng flying in the wind. It only lasted more than 10 seconds before and after, and it was only the back view, but the following good comments, there have been more than 10,000 pieces and hundreds of thousands of playbacks with a frown. Qin Feng felt that this matter was a little troublesome. Chapter 25 Moonlight Lake. When Qin Feng asked people in the clan to cultivate immortals, he told them not to spread the word, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. Unexpectedly, because of his flying in the sky, there is a risk of exposure. Looking through the comments, what Qin Feng did not expect was that the video was so popular that it had already spread to some foreign websites. It's hard to hide the fact that Chinese people will cultivate immortals. Students studying abroad say that the video is still very popular when it spreads abroad. It's the mysterious Eastern power about to awaken. Who can help me? Contact me. I also want to cultivate immortals. Cultivation of immortals has been my dream since I was a child. Take it down. There is still a difference between dreams and wishful thinking. Can you still cultivate immortals? Oh, my husband is so good. He can fly. Nonsense. That's my husband. Who dares to rob me? Sisters, draw your sword. Qin Feng looked at it speechlessly and asked the sky, it's just a back figure. Is this special about to have a wife's fan point? He was thinking about what to do, but after seeing some comments with many likes, Qin Feng gradually relaxed. Take me for a fool. This video looks like it's synthesized well. It could also be a special effect. Today, even if I'm here, I don't believe it. Are you all crazy? No, no, no. Is there really a fool who believes this is true? This is often the case in life. When something unimaginable happens, some people will become completely unbelievable. In the eyes of ordinary people, flying in the sky is absolutely impossible. Instead, there is no need to respond. As long as the heat dissipates, it is estimated that there will be no storm. The most important point is that it is just a back view, and the impact on Qin Feng is also very limited. Anyway, Qin Feng didn't want to be an internet celebrity, so he quickly put this matter behind him. In the next few days, Qin Feng searched for some famous mountains and rivers nearby, but unfortunately, there was still no gain point. Qin Feng, who was flying in the wind, frowned and kept thinking, did he find the wrong place and have the wrong idea? According to this efficiency, it is estimated that until the end of the world, there will be no medicinal materials to be found. Thinking about the time, Qin Feng didn't care too much, and Yu Kang flew to a relatively remote place. His ears twitched slightly, and he heard the trail of someone nearby. Qin Feng landed very quickly. If he was seen and spread on the internet, the popularity would not come down. The sunset is infinitely good, but it is only near dusk. It seems that in a short time, the sky will be dark. At this time, there was a voice from the front. Dabe, lead the way and go home. From the forest in front, a half-year-old child walked out and drove a group to support. Qin Feng stood there with a smile on his face, not wanting to disturb other people's normal lives. Unexpectedly, the child came to Qin Feng's side with a surprised look on his face. Huh? You? Who are you? And why are you here? Don't be surprised, I'm just passing by. Tilt his head, the child spoke again. It's getting dark, leave now, it's not safe here. Huh? Why isn't it safe? Yeah, it seems that you don't know anything. Going forward is the Yanai Lake. My grandfather said that there are big monsters under the lake water. If it is dark and stays here, it will be dangerous to eat. Qin Feng smiled and nodded. Okay, I see. Thank you. No thanks. Why don't you go? The little boy thought Qin Feng would leave, but as a result, he was still standing there. His little face became a little annoyed. I see, you don't believe me. I really didn't lie to you. When I was a child, I sneaked out to play with a big yellow dog after dark. Right by the lake, I saw monsters with my own eyes. There was a special one. Big mouth. If it wasn't for Dahuan rushing up bravely, I would have died. When he said this, the little boy's face was a little sad. Big brother, you really don't go there. There will be danger. If the little boy didn't say this, Qin Feng didn't care. He just thought it was childish. Now, he's more interested in that Yinayu Lake Point according to rumors. Any spiritual medicine treasure between heaven and earth must be guarded by alien beasts, and ordinary people cannot easily see it. Since they are here, they have to go and see. Thank you. I see. But don't worry, I'm sure I'll be fine. How old are you, and what's your name? My name is Gaozi, and I'm 10 years old. Have you read a book? Qin Feng looked very kind. The dog shook his head, and his expression became a little more sad. No, my family is too poor. Qin Feng pondered and said, it is also a kind of fate to want to meet. I will give you a gift. Later, if you are literate, you can take a look, perhaps. It was the simplicity of the little boy that made Qin Feng feel very cordial. This was the first time that covering the sky was given to someone other than his clan point. The little boy was stunned, and then took it seriously. I will definitely find a way to read, and when the time comes, I will definitely read it. Qin Feng has a smile on his face, but it's just a good relationship at random. There is no need to worry about which step the little boy can reach. It's getting dark. Go home quickly. Then, are you really okay? Certainly, perhaps. It was Qin Feng's indifferent smile, which gave the little boy too much peace of mind. After all, he was no longer tangled. The little boy drove the sheep and left. Qin Feng continued to move forward, and after about half an hour, he saw a huge lake in front of him. After a few minutes closer, Qin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. It's really hard to find a place to break through the iron shoes, and it takes no effort to get it point in this lake. Qin Feng actually felt the existence of Aura Point, although I don't know if it is the medicinal material I need to find, but since I have encountered it, I have to find out. As for the monster at the bottom of the lake mentioned by the little boy, it is easy for ordinary people to say, but they may still feel worried and afraid. The question is Qin Feng an ordinary person? Lifting it forward, Qin Feng took a calm step. Even on the lake, Qin Feng can walk on the ground. If he is seen by outsiders, he will probably drop his jaw in a few minutes. Qin Feng, who has a dusty temperament and an ethereal air, keeps moving forward. At this time, the moon rises, and you can see the reflection of the moon in the center of the lake, which is extraordinarily quiet and magnificent. The closer you get to the center of the lake, the more you feel the aura. Qin Feng felt that there was a door. It seemed that he had to gain something this time. Taking a deep breath, Qin Feng did not go directly under the lake. If others did this, it would be suicide. But even Qin Feng was in the lake. His line of sight was almost unaffected, and he looked down calmly, but he didn't expect that the depth of the lake was much deeper than Qin Feng expected. For half an hour before and after, Qin Feng kept going down with all his strength. He was already suffering from huge water pressure. He still didn't reach the bottom of the lake. Instead, he unconsciously felt that danger was approaching. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.